You're not gonna be able to hear it. Yeah, you're not gonna hear it. I have an actual theme song. Where is it? Right here. Here it is. I wonder why you can't hear it. What does it need to go through? Whatever. All right, what's up, everybody? How you doing? How you killing? How you cooling? How you chilling? Welcome to stream. We are live today. It is me, your wonderful excellency Jovan, joined by his wonderful white excellency Jimmy Snow. You know him. You love him. Oh, how did I, what? 4 is yours. No, it's set to vertical H264. I can stop it and restart it. Oh, true. Hold on. Oh, yeah, I have you muted.
That's all good. That's what I would do too.
Hold on.
Solid move.
Let me. There we go. I should have done it quick enough that it should just.
Yeah, I didn't have auto stop on, so it's all good.
And then for some reason, my stream just is not pumping at all. So let me try to fix my big boy.
Hello, everybody.
Guys, Jimmy is here to debate some conservatives. We're here to debate conservatives. You have me and Jimmy. Jimmy, I gave you access to my call-in studio, right?
Oh, I don't know. Let me go look.
You should.
I can faintly hear my echo back, probably just from your headphones. Yeah, I see you.
Okay, cool.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
we're using Jovan stuff. I'm sick. My partner had a thing and she gave me the thing and I barely did today.
Gross. But also
I have this huge woodworking project I'm trying to be working on right now, as well as a million other things. And I've had to put that completely on hold.
Is that your living room thing you were telling me about? Or your not your living room thing?
It's gonna be a set thing.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a set thing, but we don't tell audiences because then it commits. You know what I mean? Like then they start looking for it, and I reserve the right to bail if I don't like it.
Real quick, shout out to I Love Playing with Footballs, Ferocity, and Trans Dreamland for being first in the Twitch chat today. Shout out to you guys for being first in the Twitch chat. If you want to support the show, guys, there's a couple ways to always do that. One, you can support the show by... Wait, where's my music? Hold on. Why is my background music not playing? That was weird. There we go. You can support the show by sending a sub on Twitch. If you have Amazon Prime, you get a free gifted sub. You get a free sub every month. Use it on me. Stick it to Amazon by using it on a leftist. You can also support by going to YouTube and becoming a member. Memberships are always great ways. You get early access to videos. You could join the Red Mirror Media Discord server. You get your name in the credits. All good things. It's also the last day of the toy drive, our last 2 days of the toy drive. So you better get in here. You better get in here, guys, because that toy drive, there are so many presents. You guys have sent so many presents. You sent 3 Chromebooks. I got 2 Nintendo Switches. I got 4 tablets. So all those toys are getting donated. The bulk of them are going to Toys for Tots. We're going to go straight to a distribution center and hand deliver them to a distribution center. The rest, the bigger stuff, we're going to take to a children's ward at a hospital here in Orlando. So big ups on the toy drive, everybody. Big ups on the toy drive.
By the way, I do want to point this out. If you're going to do the Twitch Prime thing, if you also subscribe to other people, especially that you don't know are leftists, use your free one on them and do the paid one on Jovan.
Not a bad
and
idea.
you make less off the Prime ones. The Twitch Prime ones pay less.
True, they do.
Do you know that? Yeah.
I'm just moving.
Man, I'm still hearing that echo, and I hate it.
You're hearing that's never happened before, and nobody who's been a guest has heard themselves back. So let me just see what
it's not your software feeding it.
Oh, are you hearing yourself through like my headphones?
Your mic is picking it up. Yeah.
Oh, I
think so. It's faint. Does everybody else hear the echo? Am I the only one?
You're definitely.
Yeah, I still hear it.
Wait, let me mute myself and then tell me if you hear it.
Yo, this is Jimmy Snow. Nah, it's gone.
So yeah, you're getting feedback from me, which is wait. Does that mean hold on? Maybe my mic's effects aren't. Nope, they're all on. My noise gate. Let me listen to myself. Choo choo. Say something, Jimmy.
I said a hip hop, a hippie to the hip hop hop. Yeah, I definitely still hear me.
I mean, I can also turn you down in my head.
Oh, it's because they have music. There's no way they're gonna hear my echo against any music.
Here, I'm turning music.
I don't hear the music.
Go ahead.
Or pipe the music to me as well.
Oh,
yeah, it's very faint.
You should
fainter, but then I won't hear myself if you just pipe the music to me.
Well, I can also just turn you down on my end. Like turn you down specifically for me.
Yeah, that could do it.
Yeah.
Hey everybody, go to patreon.com/calltheline because tomorrow is LineCon Online, and because we hit our charity goal back in October, anybody can attend for free. So even if you are a free patron, you don't have to pay at all. You can attend LineCon Online live tomorrow. We'll still probably do some kind of exclusive merch or something for the people who are still $15 and above, but you can go and do LineCon Online live tomorrow for free as a free patron at patreon.com/calltheline. It is going to feature Matt Dillahunty, Alyssa Lube, and Jovan Bradley. They're all giving presentations and then doing a Q&A. So you should go and do that. Everybody, you should absolutely go and do that. Patreon.com/calltheline.
Thank you, Yemye, for the $50 Cash App, getting us started on our goal today. So Yemye already knocking us up 50. That means Twitch is ahead of YouTube by a lot. So we're 1/4 of the way to the Twitch goal. If we hit the full Twitch goal, I don't know what we'll do. Maybe we'll do a game of bingo. You guys like bingo? We could do a game of bingo with one of me and Jimmy's debates. We would just need to add stuff to the board. We have a bingo board for my past debates, and so we'll watch one of my past debates and play bingo.
Also, I think it's funny because I started YouTube doing one thing, and I think I'm going to return to a version of that thing. I don't think the thing I was doing was inherently bad, but some of the ways I was doing it was. But I think I'm returning to, I think soon I'm going to start putting out some reaction content again, but specifically focusing on videos of like Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson, like the people who deserve it, and not being so myopic about like, hey, here are these cringe trad wife girls that we all want to pretend that we don't hate because of sexism, but because they deserve it.
Oh yeah, I gotta do a stream with shit, I shouldn't have started that sentence knowing that I know this person's name and now it's gone.
Who would I know them as? You're gonna do a stream, on or with?
With. Now I feel like an asshole. Now I feel like a straight asshole.
Okay.
Hold on, I'm going to. It's somebody we both know and who you have streamed with before, and me and them wanted they wanted to have a conversation with me about a specific topic.
Okay, you texting me?
No.
Oh. You can't remember their name?
Yeah.
Are they Christian? Are they atheist? Are they?
No. You do streams with them all the time.
I stream with Alyssa and Promise all the time.
No, it's neither Alyssa nor Promise.
I've started on this channel streaming with Ari, Luxander.
No.
Arden.
No.
Where do I stream with them? On the line?
You know what? Stop, because now I'll feel like an asshole, so I'll tell you off stream. Because now if we find out who they are, I'm going to just feel like a dick. Anyway, here are the topics for today's stream, guys. 1, no good reason to be MAGA.
I bet I know who it is.
2, no good reason to be anti-abortion. 3, no good reason to, well, chat, I also have to stream with Luxander at some point, but that's totally different. 3, no good reason to be conservative. 4, no good reason to believe in Christianity. That is to believe in the mysticism. I don't want to hear somebody call in and go, but like, guys, my spiritualness has helped me, so that's a good reason for me. No, I don't give a shit about that. There's no good reason to believe in the magic. 5, trans men and women are men and women. And 6, abolish police/prisons. If you want to debate, 219-327-8005. Call-in screener Pillow is standing by. And remember, guys, when we do get started on the debate, if you're listening and you're like, I hate this motherfucker, I hate whoever you're talking to, Jovan and Jimmy, $20 after 20 minutes, they're fucking gone. They're out of here.
Did you try to get 8008 first?
No.
That would have been
picked a random
baller
one.
move. That would have been an iconic move.
Not
Man,
felt too.
I'm gonna go see if I can buy a cool phone number.
Topic 7, cancel Jimmy Snow.
Why? Because I like boobs? Who doesn't like boobs?
I will say, if you guys send super chats on my stream, they will be read at the end of stream. So thank you to those who have already sent super chats. The super chat goes towards the YouTube goal. So Twitch right now is $50 up into their goal. YouTube is $20 into their goal. Let's see who wins first.
And if you super chat on mine, I'll probably just text back my disappointment in you.
Jimmy likes quiet audiences.
No. I like it. But I also like, they're called subs for a reason.
Let's get some crybaby MAGAs up in this bitch.
Nothing for the sub thing. Okay.
I'm not going to reward you for like basic jokes. I need it to be like a good joke.
That one was good. I want to see if there are any phone numbers with 8008 available. In the
808 and Heart. 808 and Heart was the last good Kanye West album.
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy's got a bit of a disconnect between voice and image. That has happened with every single guest I've had on in vMix, and I don't know why.
I do.
Oh, you do?
Because you're using Wavelink as your audio mixer.
Oh, well, that's not changing.
Yeah. Oh my God, I might have to buy this phone number. I found a phone number that ends in boobs in 8085. Man.
But boobs is too. All right, I got hair in my throat. You ever have
I found one that just ends in boob. Oh, and it's a Colorado one. It ends in boob.
That's why you want 808 or 8008. Oh, for boob. I didn't get it.
Yeah,
right
hang
now,
on. I gotta
so
see. Can I get 8008 135? Let me see if that one's available. If I gotta say, if I can get 808 135, I will pull the trigger on buying that one. That one's
Thank you guys
easy.
for the super chats on YouTube. We'll read those at the end of stream, I promise. Let's see. Twitch. Shout out to Golden Game Eagle for resubscribing with Amazon Prime for their 13th month. Thank you so much over on Twitch. Twitch does have the vertical version of stream, so if you prefer a vertical, you can go to Twitch and get the vertical. Twitch also has no ads because I stopped running ads on my Twitch stream because fuck that. YouTube probably still does have ads because like YouTube's just a different beast, bro. Any boob lovers in chat? I'm gonna go through our topics again and tell you why we believe what we believe, just to be so very frank to all the cuck-servatives that might be watching. Number one, there's no good reason to be MAGA because like why? What are you getting out of it? I mean, the only good reason would be because you are yourself a fascist white supremacist. If that's the reason, I mean, at least cool, you acknowledge it, but like, it's not a great reason. Jimmy, do you think there's any good reasons to be MAGA?
If you're a sociopath who wishes to grift people.
True.
Yeah, that one's pretty good. Hang on, I think I might have to buy this phone number that I just found that's like pretty good. Maybe I'll set this as like our voicemail that people can leave voicemails at. What's a better hang on, what is 386 area code? Is Florida. Blech. I should have known that. I think I used to have a 386.
Be the Demon, thank you for subscribing with Amazon Prime over on Twitch.
No, I had 863.
Jimmy only does YouTube.
573 is Missouri. I'm gonna buy this one.
Twitch works. Number two, topic number 2. No good reason to be anti-abortion. You don't use it.
That's true, but I do have one.
Okay, when I say someone doesn't do Twitch, I mean they don't use their Twitch. So there's good reason for Andrew from New Jersey to be MAGA. Holy shit.
Good reason to be MAGA. Literally, like, the only people who I think are MAGA with a full grasp of what that means. It's kind of like, at this point, I don't think you can pretend to be a prophet of the Mormon Church and not know that the whole thing is a scam. So I think that's, if your values line up, if you sort of have a cynical, nihilistic, the only thing that matters is what I get out of the world and what I can take, then that would be a good reason. Like, whatever a person calls in and they're like, I'm a psychopath, why would I, this has happened before, I'm a psychopath, why would I care about anybody else? You're right. I got nothing for you. If you're a white male psychopath, you are going to get away with more in society under MAGA than anybody seeking any additional egalitarianism.
Fratsu said, only good reason to be MAGA is that I can filter who can and cannot be my friends. You ever had a dream? Number 2, guys, there's no good reason to be anti-abortion. Every single argument for abortion ends in one of 2 ways. You're either going to get somebody who believes in flow, or you're going to get somebody who's religious. There's really no other. I've not seen any other. I mean, you get people who who believe in causal obligation, but 9 times out of 10 they just turn into religious freaks anyway. So neither flow nor a religious backing for abortion are good reasons. So just throwing that out there.
All right, I think it's official. You can now officially leave a voicemail for the line by calling 386 atheist.
Oh,
386
nice.
Atheist. You can now officially leave a voicemail at 386 Atheist.
Are you gonna do a weekly, not live, but a weekly voicemail listen and play?
If something good happens, yeah, I'd do it live.
The voicemails I used to get on my Google Voice number were unhinged. Absolutely unhinged.
Yeah, I will never get the quantity of unhinged that you get because of our visible differences. Yeah.
I'm on the other side of the crayon box.
Without you being on the stream, I only get called the N-word once a year. On the stream, twice a month, I think we get 2 or so. So last month, I don't think we never got called the N-word, but we did get called monkeys. I think twice. Yeah. So they're evolving.
For those asking, first of all, Fisto Roboto, thank you for the 5 gifted subs over on Twitch. For those asking, flow, the flow argument is future like ours. It's an abortion argument where the claim from pro-lifers is that the reason why it's unjustifiable to kill a fetus is because it will have a future like we have. So they value future sentience. They don't value present or past sentience. They say as long as you have the ability to have a future experience, you ought be valued. And I think that's fine. But my issue with flow is it's just a value judgment. It's not placing a judgment on justification, because flow, people who believe in flow also believe in God, my brain, I feel like my brain is rotting. They believe in self-defense. So they inherently believe that there are still justifications to take a life under flow. So anytime somebody brings up flow to you, just ask them why flow just does not allow for a justification in abortion. You can still just tackle it almost any other way you can tackle an abortion argument.
So is the theory on your vertical stream that you're leaving that area at the bottom blank for the live chat?
Yeah.
I see.
Because when chat is there, it blocks whatever is.
See, whereas I just put my face there always. I count on it blocking my face. I'm just like, good enough. Because I do know some percentage of people hate the chat and they hide it. And
Yeah, I just like to give people
when they rewatch.
I like to give people a place for chat. But I tend to not repost the vertical. I always like upload the Twitch horizontal.
Why are people making an argument against abortion about the lady from the Progressive commercials?
No. I was explaining to them the Flow abortion argument because they were asking, because I told them that the two most used abortion claims from a pro-lifer are going to be either a religious backing one, so human life is inherently valuable because God gives it, or a Flow argument.
Guys, just a woman on her flow that's not an abortion. God, MAGA stupid.
Crazy.
Liz Kriz, you are a sub, and I shame you for leaving a super chat. Thank you, Liz. But disgusting.
Jimmy said, Jimmy, I hate your jokes. Real quick, just so I can finish up the things. There's no good reason to be conservative. Conservative values are just backwards, and they don't lead to productive or fruitful societies. So I think to be conservative is just sort of pointless. There's no good reason to believe in Christianity. Again, this is the mysticism. I don't give a shit if you use Christianity to make you a better person. But I think getting rid of skepticism to believe in magic is really stupid. I don't know.
I like that it looks like the little present is above my head, and the text is way too tiny to read.
Yeah, no. We won't be able to read it. No.
Have you tried the Pokemon DLC yet?
No, because I didn't want to spend fucking $40 for it.
Oh, got it.
Yeah, no. And
it gets better, but it's trash.
Everybody I've seen say it said that it is not good.
It starts as trash, and it has yet to be good, but it gets better. And I think it probably gets pretty good.
Is it true they gave... I don't know how far you are into the DLC, but I read that Tawny ends up with a full level 100 team that you have to beat.
So you have to beat Mega Pokemon that are above level 100 in the game. So the one thing I do like about it is some of the actual battle challenges are difficult. And so there I'm like, okay, good. Like now I'm an adult playing Pokemon, not a child.
Yem, thank you for the gifted sub over on Twitch. Yeah, no, I'm not a big fan of that. Guys, trans men and women are men and women. That one's self-explanatory. And then abolish police and prisons. I added that back onto the list. We'll see what happens. Is there a horizontal on Jovan's? There's a horizontal on my Twitch page. Twitch.tv/Jovan_Bradley. That's where you'll find a horizontal version of stream. I got a cool Ninja Turtle wall art.
Got to get you a URL for redirect.
Sick. Right? Don't you guys like the Ninja Turtle wall? There's a Spider-Man. There's like a matching Spider-Man one on the other side of my piano. So sick. We have some calls. They're getting screened right now, and then we'll get to. So if you're calling in right now, just hold your place in line, guys. As soon as you're done being screened, we'll get to you. I promise. I complete you. I sent you a link
with my official guess of the person that you couldn't remember.
No, I remembered who it was though, but no.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm very curious.
I sent it to you. I wish they'd add capitalism is bad again.
Oh, hell yeah.
Maybe.
Good.
I know Forrest wants to do a whole capitalism stream with me sometime this next week.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, okay. I was having a walk. I walked to the mailbox earlier, and I was thinking about the time that we talked about where somebody called in, and I was like, well, Puerto Rico, we should actually give representation. And you were like, no, we should actually just give them independence. And I was thinking about that. I was thinking about, but if you were working toward an end goal, would you rather give them independence and successfully give them successfully give America socialism, or if you felt confident that the goal, that the march towards socialism, or in your case communism, was going to succeed, would you keep them now so that whatever system we switch to for America, they get as well?
I'd probably make it up to them. I would say, do you guys want to get this system? And if not, then I understand. Right? Like, I wouldn't want to force anything on them because Puerto Rico's had enough forced on them already.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I'm like, it seems like then it's most people are just going to evaluate. So do I want to be with America or not, and not think as much about, unfortunately, and this goes for every population in America is the worst. Most of the people who vote will vote for bad reasons or dumb reasons. Even the people who vote correctly will vote for bad or dumb reasons.
Speaking about dumb reasons, coming up to the show, we have Marcus. Marcus is pro-life and wants to debate us on abortion. So we're going to bring Marcus up. Marcus, if you can hear me, please provide me your age and your pronouns.
Hi, good evening. Age is 28. Pronouns are he, him, his.
Okay. Always love when someone adds the his. Always love that. Marcus.
Oh, wait, I think I thought I messed it up, but
No. Just most people always leave off his. They always just do he, him. Marcus. Okay, now you think the point of conception is the most natural place to state that life is life. And the only exception to taking a life is wartime and self-defense. Is that correct?
That's pretty. I mean, there's probably a few exceptions to taking a life besides that, but I mean, those are probably the main two.
Do you believe abortion should be illegal?
I think in an ideal world, yes, there are steps to getting to an ideal world. I think right now, 100% it should be considered an immoral act that it should be highly discouraged.
I don't understand ideal world.
Taking.
I don't understand why a person would say in an ideal world. In an ideal world, you wouldn't need anything to be illegal. An ideal world would be people wouldn't do things that you would want to be illegal. So I'm curious what that ideal world means.
I mean, I think especially in the United States, we have to have a higher focus on material conditions before we can actually, have a realistic conversation about limiting abortion rights. But
so is it fair to say you think in an ideal world where a person only has a child if they actually want to and they have the resources to support it, in that world abortion would be illegal?
I'd say the want to part is a little bit, I'd push back on that. I think whether if you're having consensual sex and the result is a pregnancy, I think there needs to be a little bit more of an emphasis or societal pressure to continue the pregnancy, at least until the point of adoption.
Why?
I just listen. I'm pro-life at the end of life. I don't think that we should take people's life away for committing crimes. I think that having a human decide when life begins, when life ends, there's so many things that we've gotten wrong as a race, the human race. There's so many things that we get wrong as a society. I just think that if there's cells and they are going to
Marcus, I'm just going to save you because you're wasting you're talking about a lot of stuff that is inconsequential, because I don't think a single person who actually makes a comprehensive argument about abortion being that you should have access to abortion is saying that the fetus isn't alive. Jovan, are embryos, fetuses, and zygotes alive?
Yep.
Yeah, they're alive. It's about a right to continue to live, and upon what basis, and things like personhood.
I think I disagree. I mean, I know that yes, the cells are alive, right? I think the common argument that you hear, and a lot of the languages that I used was, perhaps someone who has a different argument for why abortion should be legal and should be condoned, and you're
still heading off to things that are inconsequential. It would not matter if the cells are alive, fully conscious, making memories, and sentient. If you, Marcus, are hooked up to me for life, and I initially consented to you being hooked up to me for life, and I no longer want you to be hooked up to me, even though it will result in your death, then it would still be my right to abort your subsistence off of my body.
I, I've never actually heard that argument for abortion. Or why abortion
Then you
should
aren't
be legal.
researching the arguments for abortion. That's the autonomy argument.
No. That's no.
You've
the
made an
hypothetical- the point that I haven't heard is that when you say that a hypothetical of me attaching myself to you, even if you
even though
agree
I've
to
consented.
that,
Yes. Uh-huh.
I've never heard that specific hypothetical, and I would argue the opposite. If you agree that you are going to maintain life for another being, I think that that's something you have to. I don't think that's something you can revoke.
Then you
I
don't
think that's
believe in
that's a
autonomy and you
solemn
don't
promise.
believe in consent. If you are not allowed to withdraw consent, you never were actually consenting in the first place.
Do you know the acronym
think-
FRIES, Marcus?
Say again?
The acronym FRIES.
I do not.
So FRIES is an acronym when we're talking about consent. Consent must always have FRIES. So consent must always be freely given.
Okay, yes, I'm familiar. Yeah.
Yep, freely given, reversible, informed, enthusiastic, and specific. If any of those things are missing, you're not consenting.
So would you say a contract where you are essentially let's call it an employment contract for 4 years, but would you say that in about 2 years through you want to quit?
Every
would you say
job,
that
every
you
single
consent?
job you work, you sign an employment contract, and every single job you work, you're allowed to quit if you want to quit.
Not the military.
And they're also not allowed to
Yeah,
deny
because in
you the
military,
money,
you give away,
money
you
for
give
the
up your rights.
right. Literally, you don't have autonomy in the military.
So there are situations in the United States government where you give up your rights. Why wouldn't creating a life and maintaining a life be something that you could also say that you are giving your rights up for?
Why should it be?
Right.
Because
you
I think
start
life-
with
life-
right now the way freedom works is you start with everything is permissible until there is a good reason to revoke it. So what is the good reason to revoke bodily autonomy? Because you had sex.
The good reason would be that it's cruel and unusual to end a life in
Why is it cruel?
while it's cruel because, I mean, it's like, let's be realistic about it, right? That entity, the fetus, whatever you want to call it, the bundle of cells, even like going from like, let's say you detect the pregnancy at 4 weeks, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's still inflicting a certain amount of pain.
No,
there
it
are
isn't.
pain receptors. Even
Incorrect.
early.
The pain
Incorrect.
receptors aren't hooked up to the nociceptors till 24 weeks. It physically 22 at the earliest is what it can feel pain. It physically, the connections are not connected yet up until that point.
And
Cannot feel pain.
and again,
Okay, so
we've already
would
given the
that be your
hypothetical
point?
where we're going down a path where you're like trying to make some secular argument that you don't understand and you're breaking off and you're taking away. Again, if I agree to sustain your life, I have the right to revoke that because consenting to start you can never have informed consent of what is ongoing because you can't know what your mental state's going to be, what your physical state's going to be. And while you leave the opening for, because people then call them like, so then just arbitrarily you make it legal. Yeah, you do make it legal for arbitrary as well, not because you hope people are doing arbitrary, but because you just shouldn't get the government in this. It should be between doctors and their patients.
I guess if using your hypothetical, if you signed up to maintain someone's life in a pseudo pregnancy, and would you consider going back on that promise? Personally, could you make that?
Yes,
choice?
of course I would, because I can't actually know prior to doing it what the consequences of that are going to be for me and whether or not I want to continue those consequences. And by the way, you even said like we're now also comparing I should have the right even if I fully made the decision to. Remember, you're defending if people didn't make the decision to, and it's the consequence of an action that happened where part of their brain literally shut off so that they would make poor judgment calls because it's better for reproduction, that two people did what basically is fun. It's awesome for a lot of people. and you want to give them that decades-long consequence, not just but also what can be for people a devastating consequence to their social life. Remember that as far as the age gap that people, or not the age, the gender gap that people think is closing, the gender gap comes fully back for anybody post having a child. Once you have had a child, the gender gap comes back for wages with a vengeance. There's tremendous consequences to people who can get pregnant for having that pregnancy. And if a person reevaluates at some point or is just in a different state of mind than when they made that decision, again, you are only consenting if you have the option to revoke. Otherwise, it is forced.
Okay, I have a hypothetical for you. If you could live in a world where material conditions were satisfied by the government to a better degree, to a point where, in all reality, people had everything they wanted, or everything that they needed. They had housing, they had food, they had shelter, essentially like a socialist utopia.
Yeah,
but
perfect.
The one condition was that, there's still birth control, but if someone got pregnant, that abortion would not be provided, would not be tolerated. Would you rather live in that world or this world that we currently live in, current status?
If we're in a socialist utopia, the fact that abortion is illegal is basically, first of all, it's not a socialist utopia at that point, because socialism, you can't have that level of inequality and non-consent there. So it isn't socialist. But whatever, you wanted to say like all of those things but that. Why is it illegal in that society? Because it's unnecessary, because you just described a society in which the only people who end up giving birth are people who want to give birth.
I mean, you could say that there maybe in this society that, the hypothetical, maybe there are people who have sex just for recreation, but, they have their birth control, but there's that 1% where it slips through, something happens, an accident occurs, and then in that society, that would be the scenario where, you wouldn't be able to terminate.
The society you described is better than this society, but there is no such thing as a society where I would stop working to make society better.
So let's say you have the switch where you can either change this, you can either have this society or that society. Which one would you pick?
This is a purposeless endeavor, because you're just sitting there and going, we've already told you what our values actually are. So now we're playing like, but a hypothetical. And we could also get high and talk about what we would do with a fucking dragon, dude. But like at this point, we're just getting into these myopic, silly things because you think it's going to somehow make a point for you're going to be able to go like, so therefore, what? Let's say I decided one or the other. What would the consequence be?
Genuinely asking. I just want to see where your values are, and it was a genuine question. If you don't like my question, you can hang up on me.
I would go with the one that has I would pick the ones that have the most freedoms and equality for people. And then I'd stab the genie in the nuts that was making me decide.
If you want to talk about about my values, I guess my values would be that, even if there's an there's decisions that result in your own personal pain, I would choose those decisions over essentially taking away
so you're pro-choice
potential life.
Great, you would choose. And I think you love the ability to choose. You love that you don't live in a country where if you got pregnant, Marcus, that the country would tell you have to terminate the pregnancy, right?
And
you would choose, and you value the option to choose. So you're pro-choice.
And I came into this conversation with a very nuanced take, right? The only thing that I'm trying to achieve, I guess if you want to call it achieve, or if you want to look at my values and what I'm actually trying to say, because I think a lot of times, I don't know, I'll make it very clear what my values are. I think as a society, we need to make more decisions that aid others, maybe even at our own detriment. I think that's the biggest problem we have in society. And I think
great. So advocate for socialism.
Yeah, so I do. I love socialism. If I would want more of it, but I think also when we're
Go work
looking
on
at
that, and you
things
won't
that
have to
we
worry
need-
as much about abortions, because in a socialist society,
Well-
people aren't going to need abortions nearly as often. If you want to dramatically reduce
Absolutely.
abortions to
That was my whole
basically
thrust.
non-existent, you don't have
That
to
was
make it
the-
illegal, which is what a pro-life person would do. You have to
that was
make
my
it
whole thrust.
unnecessary.
It's just weird because even in a socialist stance, we wouldn't view abortion as an immoral action, and you view it as an immoral thing.
I just don't want to, like, for me, I guess what bricks my brain, and maybe it's a small brain. You can say maybe I'm not enlightened. I don't know, but what bricks my brain is the leftist ideology in general is focused on a lot of people making decisions to give to the general society, to their neighbor, to the other, at the detriment of even themselves. I mean, you could go around and say that, if a rich person pays more taxes, they're actually benefiting themselves too, which I agree with. But on the most simpler interpretation, it is the detriment of the individual for the greater good of the society. But why
What are
would
you
a
talking
socialist or a leftist
What
want
detriment?
to?
What detriment
Well, I mean,
do you think that are you describing a detriment as like a rich person now still having all of their needs met and living comfortably in society, but they can't get a yacht? Is that the detriment we're talking about? And you can't tie together why we do want them to have that detriment, but not people to have their autonomy taken away?
I said I do want them to have that detriment, and I ceded the point.
That's not what I asked.
That it wasn't actually a detriment because they would have their material needs met. I gave a very nuanced take on that. I guess let me just get to the point.
Great. So it wouldn't actually be a detriment in the case of the individual that you're describing, right? So you're saying it wouldn't be a detriment in their case, but you are acknowledging that it is a detriment to the person who is forced to give an unwanted pregnancy, bring it to term. And so you're sitting here and going, I don't understand how leftists can be okay with doing this to rich people to their detriment, even though it's not really a detriment. But they do want to help people who have an actual detrimental situation.
I'm just confused.
I'm just so confused. To the point that it's not a detriment to have a kid in a world where you have your
wait, but I'm so confused because it doesn't matter. It doesn't. Wait, Marcus. I'm so confused because what does it matter if someone doesn't find abortion immoral? Then it's not about whether it's a detriment or not. To them, they're not doing something immoral when they end the life of someone they consider not a person.
So when is a person?
I believe personhood becomes a sentience. It's the only logical. I believe sentience is the only logical place to put personhood. Because it's when
where would you
lose
put that kind of on a weeks into the pregnancy kind of 24. Thing? I'm just curious. And 24. If you want to move on, please move on. I'm 24. I'm here in full faith.
24. I don't think you're here in bad faith. 24. 24 weeks.
And legally, I think we grant people personhood when they are born. As far as personhood, some sort of philosophical personhood, it would also be tied into sentience for me.
Okay, so around 24 weeks. I mean, that is now, correct me if I'm wrong, but people have been born before 24 weeks of gestation and survived.
Earliest is 21. Earliest is 21. And you have like a 30% chance of survival at 21 weeks.
Brain development still at this point is still, as far as what level of experience can happen, is extremely diminished. You don't have a brain that's processing, a brain that's forming memories, anything like that. So it is still, but again, literally, it's funny that we're trying to, and this tends to be a pro-life, a right wing, and a Christian thing of like, you've already defined the argument that actually none of this stuff is relevant to, but I'm going to try and bring us back. Because as I've already pointed out, none of this matters. If you are outside of the womb, a living, breathing person, your right to autonomy would still mean that your right to swing your fist ends at my nose. You cannot subsist, live off of me, have a parasitic relationship to my body without my ongoing consent. And if at any point I wish to withdraw that, I have the right to. When it comes to fetuses, if you withdraw that at a certain point, generally that is to the death of the fetus. A fetus beyond a certain point, oftentimes the abortion is literally just a delivery. Pregnancy inducing a delivery is still technically an abortion. Those are often given up for adoption. If the abortion was for non-medical reasons, a person truly doesn't want to have that baby, but they do decide to deliver. Otherwise, the so-called late-term abortions, the ones that happen post 20 weeks, are usually either because of a medical detriment to the mother, as in their life is in danger, whether that is that they would die or would suffer other severe medical consequences, or you are basically going to have a situation where a baby is born, drowns on their own blood, suffers tremendously, and so the option is given to let's just put them to sleep in the womb. There's basically the reason why you do it in that order is just legal gray area, and the doctors are less liable in that scenario. One could come up with it should also be fine if you know that a child is going to live for an hour, but they're still going to suffer for that hour, that you could still do that to them post-delivery, some sort of medical euthanasia, but we don't do that thing. So right now, if they're in the womb, you don't have to worry about euthanasia laws. And you can basically prevent them from suffering, only knowing life long enough outside of the womb to suffer and die. Those are the situations where late-term abortions actually happen. So even when it comes to like the moral, like when they're sentient, when is their personhood, when should you at least consider that their experience, there is no actual significant problem. Certainly not a significant problem that would go away, because medical doctors won't do it for sentient life just for fuck shits, because they consider it a part of against the oaths they take. So this is why I am not pro-life, because they are trying to solve a problem that doesn't exist.
I mean, it's kind of like there is the trolley problem kind of aspect of it too, where you have, if you don't do anything, life is most likely to occur. I think,
well, that's not true.
I guess it's the same reason why you would,
most fertilized eggs never make it to term naturally. If you have no abortions, most fertilized eggs will not make it to term naturally. So you just said a non-truth.
Well, from the point, okay, so I'll cede that, right? But from the point of 4 weeks, you take the 4 to 6 weeks, you take the pregnancy test.
But even then, positive. Marcus, even then, if a woman does nothing, or like if a pregnant person does nothing except the bare minimum to keep themselves alive, the fetus will die.
Marcus, you know what you strike me as? The guy that tomorrow, if they announce with a simple pill, you can get pregnant too, suddenly you're going to be pro letting people decide for themselves. You could now take on the burden of more people in society.
That's not fair.
And yet that's fair. What you come off as. Because every step of the way, you have all of these silly positions, and it just sounds so much like a person could only not get it this much and keep trying to go back to the script this much because they don't actually have an equal stake in the game.
So you don't think I have a fair, like you don't think I'm arguing in full faith?
I don't think it's that. I don't think it's that you're arguing in bad faith. I think you're arguing
about it.
No. I think you're using just really bad arguments.
I think these are all feel arguments, because the fact that your first admission was you had never heard probably one of the most common illustrations of the autonomy argument shows that you haven't spent much time actually delving into this topic.
Well, no, I haven't heard okay, so I've heard of a variant of that, right? I just haven't heard of like you literally attaching me to your body for some reason that makes me exist. That's what I haven't heard.
Okay, Marcus, let me ask you a really
again, one of the most common illustrations.
Marcus, let me ask you a really simple question. Marcus, why should somebody who is a sentient agent, why should their life matter less than the life of something that is not sentient?
So I don't think that's true. I don't think that if a pregnant person
if a pregnant person says, in order for me to live my life, I want
want or need?
Whatever it is. If it's a want,
if it's a person want, then I disagree, because
You
why
think
would
a
we have
sentient
parents with
agent, a
5-year-old,
sentient
5-year-old
agent's want shouldn't be more important than a non-sentient agent?
But that agent
Even
will
their
become
need.
sentient.
But it's not.
With
But wait,
normal conditions.
what? You're saying this thing is more valuable because it will eventually become the thing that this
It's not
other
more
thing
valuable.
is. Yes, it is. This is a moral
very
consideration question. It is about value. It's 100% about value every step of the way. Oh,
The idea that potential
Or did you hang
to become sentient. No, I didn't hang up on him. The idea that potential to become sentient is somehow needs to then be valued in comparison with that which is sentient. It looks like he's trying to call back in. Is absolutely outrageous. There is no obligation. Why would here? I'll just bring him back in.
Yeah.
Marcus, abortion.
Marcus, I brought you back in. Marcus.
Hey,
Can you hear us?
Sorry, I don't know if it was I disconnected
Why
or
would-
something happened.
Why would an individual have an obligation to bring an inanimate object or a non-sentient object to sentience just because it has the potential for sentience?
I mean, it's more than a potential. Under normal conditions,
No, it isn't.
that
It's literally
object-
only a potential. There is no it's more than a potential.
so-
That's literally what it is. You're trying to add emotional charging to it. You feel some spiritual connection in some way to these things, but no, it actually only has potential. There's no more than. That's the exact word for it.
You're Donald
I guess
Trump
if I put the
sneaking
key
out
in
of
my
me.
car, it potentially will start. I mean, it will start under most normal conditions. I
Again,
guess
not
that's a
true.
potential.
Most embryos, most zygotes, most fertilized eggs do not come to term. But again, potential, what you just described, doesn't change it. It's not more than potential. Yes, if you put your key into an ignition, you are participating in a process that has the potential to turn your car on. Why are you obligated by society to turn the car on just because the car can turn on?
I think because in the car analogy, it's just, okay, do I go to work? Do I go to wherever I want? But in the life analogy, we're talking about someone's, potential whole experience.
Why
of
should
this
we
life
care
that we
about
live.
life over sentient life? Because you don't hold this in any other regard. Any other non-sentient life you don't give a shit about. But all of a sudden, because you happen to be the same species as this non-sentient life, now you care about it.
In fact,
why do
every
we live?
individual
Why do we
sperm
wake
and egg are equally non-sentient and equally have the potential to produce sentience. So now must we start making laws to protect sperm? Because I got to tell you, there's a lot of
I'll
people
draw the
with
line
voices
there.
like yours that are committing genocide. Right, but you're drawing the line there somewhat arbitrarily.
I don't think that, well, because there's so many sperm that if you were to match every sperm with every egg in the world, you'd still have like
All
a
sperm still
leftover.
potential
Okay, so
is-
just
potential is
protect-
an abstract
so-
concept.
wait,
All
wait.
sperm still holds potential.
So Marcus, just the eggs then, right? There's so many sperm. So just the eggs, we have an excess of sperm. So once again, just the group which you do not belong to. Oh, did we lose him again? Bringing him in.
No,
So
I'm
just
here.
the
Sorry,
eggs,
I'm-
just preserve all of the
Am I
eggs.
here?
The sperm, there's too
Yeah,
much
you're
of an
here.
excess. But now let's start doing this. Let's start doing, I'm trying to remember what the evaluation was, but they did it. If we were to heavily control the lives of people who got pregnant, we could actually reduce that number of naturally occurring abortions, the naturally occurring miscarriages by some it's a huge number. And so should we do that? Should we stop allowing women to exercise during periods of time, doing certain type like cardio, if they're sexually active? Should we stop them from doing anything where they're like should we be controlling their diet? Should we be, because those are all things that potential life that's in there would have a much higher possibility. And yet, because we don't do that level of control, because we haven't made women basically slaves to society, well, not entirely, there's still room for more. They are there are what we are calling naturally occurring miscarriages, even though human intervention could prevent them. So should we do that because of the preciousness of this non-sentient life to you?
Well, I guess. Sorry, am I back on? I'm not sure. I was in the waiting lobby.
Yeah,
Can you hear me?
brought you back.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I just wasn't sure. Sorry. I guess with that argument, you could say that no one should have cars because cars pollute with carbon and the different greenhouse gases. The pollution from cars kills a bunch of people. It's definitely in the millions. Versus a society where we didn't have cars. So I think that we have a legal standard for
Great.
that.
And so here's the beautiful thing is people aren't cars. And we should be living in a society that gets rid of pollution, that reduces pollution. And that should be the thing that we are working toward. So now if you'll answer my actual thing, instead of coming up with an objectifying metaphor, once again, we could reduce, you're saying that despite the sentience, it's not okay, the non-sentience, it's not okay because of the potential. Well, a great many more fertilized eggs have potential, but are naturally lost because we don't monitor people with uteruses and prevent them from doing some amount of exercise, having some amount of diets. We're not making sure we're not tracking if they are sexually active. We're not pregnancy testing them regularly. Should we take all of those freedoms away from women to increase the sentient delivery of what are currently non-sentient, you've agreed, human life, that's when we need to give personhood. Should we be that interventionary with women broadly because it's that important to bring non-sentience to sentience when the potential is present?
Absolutely not. We should not do that. And where I was going
why
with
are
the car
those
metaphor is,
why are those zygotes, fetuses, and embryos less important than the zygotes, fetuses, and embryos that we've otherwise described that still have not met sentience?
because we're talking about a point where someone is making an active choice to end a pregnancy versus the consequences of actions that weren't intended to end a pregnancy. They were just normal life.
Here's an active choice that I'm going to make real quick. I'm going to make an active choice too. See you later, Marcus. That was my active choice. We got a pay to boot in Jimmy's live. Sorry I didn't see it, but that's because I'm not focused on Jimmy's chat. So if you want to pay to kick somebody and you want to make sure I see it, make sure you do it in my chat. Otherwise, I won't see it.
Well, I do like the money. Where was the pay to boot?
It was from Misha.
On mine.
Misha sent $20 to make like Peel and Kick.
Oh, Kick, please. Yeah, make like Pele. You don't know who Pele is?
Well, why the fuck would I know?
There's like 6. It's like I know who that one guy is. If you said his name, David
Marcus,
something, Beckham.
If you're listening and you want to call back another time, you can. You just can't call back today because somebody paid to remove you from the stream.
Everything is emotional with Marcus. The whole thing is. It's literally just like I feel that way, and it's easy for me to feel this way because I don't have equal stakes in this game, which is very unfair to point out.
Every time you do that, your Trump like leaks out a little bit.
No, it's because we already have a common voice like base, so it's impossible for now. Plus, right now I'm dealing with a sinus thing.
Which of these next calls do you want to do? Because I think I know the one I want to do.
I mean, which one do you want? I have less to say about line 4-2. And that would be more of a your thing, I think. And I'm more than happy to. I'm not trying to be the one who's doing the most talking or anything. I just tend to do that.
We'll just go in order. We'll go in order just to make it simple. Next up, coming up is Jason. Jason is pro police and prisons and wants to say why they should not be abolished. Jason, welcome to the show. If you can hear me, please provide me with your age and pronouns. Jason, hello.
Jason, you're on the air.
Calling for
Lick
Jason.
the phone, my buddy.
Once.
Wake it up by licking the screen from base to tip.
What the fuck? Calling for Jason Cohen twice. That's a new one for you.
It's a new Android feature. It's a new Android feature. This is why people are always
they
like,
should beta test that a little bit more. Calling for
iPhone
Jason
can only
3
wish they had all the
times.
Android features.
Okay, well, Jason, we can't hear you, so if you want to try to call back and maybe correct that, sorry, we can't hear you, friend.
That is available on the Google Pixel 1 Plus.
We're going to bring up the next guest. Next up is Mike, who is an avid MAGA and Trump supporter and thinks there are good reasons to be MAGA, such as the Democrats' handling of COVID lockdowns and the supporting of 20 million slaves, as Mike labels them. Mike, if you can hear me, please provide me your age and pronouns.
Hello. Yeah, I'm 30, and I guess he, him.
Okay. Now, Mike, you said one of the reasons to be MAGA is because of the way Democrats handled the lockdowns. Is that correct?
Yeah, and I was talking to the guy. The definition you use, which is just or not a liberal, is MAGA. Then I guess I'm a MAGA supporter. But I'm not a diehard. I mean, there's things that Trump has done wrong. The questions were kind of weird. Phrased weird.
Okay.
But what's the question?
Well, is it correct that you think one of the reasons to be MAGA is because of the way Democrats handled the COVID shutdowns and the lockdowns?
Yes. I mean, it's definitely the reason I voted for Trump this time. I didn't vote for him in 2020 or 2016.
Okay, because I'm confused because Trump started the lockdowns in March of 2020.
If you remember,
I assume he's saying he doesn't like how Minnesota covered. Was it Minnesota?
The lockdown started about March. The parabolic infection rate started in about February. So I mean, it was only a few weeks where the infection rates were parabolic, and they were all symptom-based diagnosis. You guys kind of backed Trump into a corner, delaying the CARES Act, and then with the symptom-based diagnosis, and then the installation of fear that you guys kept peddling.
We weren't in charge.
Calling the whole Nazi
Trump,
rhetoric was still
Mike,
hold on. Mike, I'm so confused. Trump began the lockdowns. Trump didn't lift any of the lockdowns from March of 2020 to January 4th of 2021. Why, if Trump was so against the lockdowns, why didn't he lift them?
I don't know. That's one of the things. I think because there was a quote unquote virus that was we know now was genetically modified or genetically engineered in the lab of Wuhan to increase its transmissibility and its efficacy.
We don't know that.
You guys were, not only do you make a virus,
I feel like you're ignoring the question that I keep asking you. Is there a reason why you're ignoring the question I keep asking you?
Also not a Democrat, so it's weird you keep saying you guys, but you guys manufactured a virus. Do you believe that even if you believe it was manufactured in the Wuhan lab, which we don't have evidence for, we don't have evidence that it was purposefully engineered to be deadlier, and that even if it came from the lab, that it intentionally was released from the lab. We don't have evidence of any of that, but you've stated that we do as though it's a fact, and you've called it a quote unquote, I think you said so-called virus. But anyway, even with all of that, we're not Democrats.
What was the function that was the gain of function, do you think?
The gain of function research that Rand Paul is always on about has not been shown to be a part of the COVID molecule, of the COVID virus that made it into people.
Well, the gain of function was not a biological. The gain of function was the funding, or kind of the purpose of the funding was for to gain the function of the COVID virus, which was to increase its transmissibility and its efficacy.
According to Rand Paul, but not according to the doctors, scientists, researchers, or anybody actually involved with it.
I still just want to know
that didn't know how masks work. I've studied pneumatics physics, and I've fit.
Our researchers were correct about how masks worked. N95 masks are the absolute best. If you want to, some amount of mask will give you a small amount of protection because the virus travels by droplets. So everything you are saying so far is, again, like, brother, put on a tinfoil mask.
It's not designed to prevent coronavirus. Coronavirus is 0.1 microns, right? Those N95s only filter up to 0.3 microns.
Hey,
so literally.
Hey, buddy boy. Hey, buddy boy. Hey, Mike. No. You don't get to stop past it. You don't get to make a claim and then not get a fact checked. What does COVID travel via?
It was transmissible through air and what's the term for
does
COVID?
So COVID, the 1 micron that you said COVID is, does it travel in a 1 micron form? Does it exist in individual, and can it move from one body to another body in its 1 micron form? Or is 2 things required? 1, droplets, which are not 1 micron, and 2, a certain viral load to contract it. Which one?
Well, that's the reason the surgical masks. That's the only thing they're good for is to prevent.
So you're just not going to answer, Mike? So you're just not going to answer? You're not going to answer and admit that you're wrong about N95s? Because if you block droplets, you successfully drop. Yes, you are. An N95 will reduce your chances of contracting COVID dramatically because COVID travels via droplets. Droplets.
If you're the one talking and you're the one wearing the mask, that's why surgeons wear masks and the patient doesn't have to wear a mask. Also,
yes, it is important. It is important for everybody to wear it. It is important for both people to wear masks. It is important for both people to wear masks because asymptomatic COVID also exists.
So I just want to point out.
It does not.
I just want to point out. On the boxes of N95 masks, it does not say that it doesn't prevent against COVID. That is a mischaracterization of a post that went around Facebook, which shows general surgical masks.
I took a photo of the box myself.
masks.
It's in my camera file right now.
Well, I'm not showing any N95 boxes that say that.
It's convenient how much you guys don't know about things and have strong opinions on them. Don't you agree?
It's convenient. We didn't know who started the lockdown. What are you talking about?
And you thought that a single micron to protect against COVID means you would need a mesh smaller than 1 micron because you fundamentally didn't understand the way in which it travels. But you're trying to tell us that somewhere, by the way, I use N95 mask all the fucking time because I'm a woodworker and you use them against wood dust. So literally buying them often. In fact, I have 2 more boxes showing up tomorrow, despite the fact that I had a box show up yesterday because I have so many projects ahead of me. And you know what's not on any of those boxes? Anything about COVID. So when you say you found a box that you took a picture of and that it's on there, I'm going to actually say my first reaction is you're probably lying. Or I don't know, maybe you found some special box or somewhere they decided to put it on because people were buying them for specifically that. And they were saying there are better ways to do it. I don't know what the reason is, but I know I literally buy them like crazy because I'm a woodworker.
Donald Trump started the lockdowns. What the fuck do you keep saying you guys?
Right, you guys.
Donald Trump began the lockdowns.
You know damn well it was the mentality, the fear
so Donald Trump is too much of a... Wait. I'm sorry. So Donald Trump is too much of a... Wait. Stop. No, stop. So Donald Trump folds to Democrats is what you're telling me. He folds hard to Democrats. And you said on the map, motherfucker, I asked you this question fucking 8 minutes ago and you squirmed away from it. The fuck are you talking about?
No, I literally fit tested these masks. I hooked up a hose to them, tested the air outside, tested the air inside.
I don't care what you fit tested. I don't give a shit what you have fit tested. Multiple studies exist that have been peer reviewed that show the efficacy of face masks, especially the N95s. Your little home experiment doesn't outweigh all of the academic research against it. Second of all, Mike, big Mikey, I don't give a fuck what you. I don't care, Mike. Second of all,
that's what I'm saying. That's
Mike, because you're lying, Mike. The reason I don't care is because you're lying, Mike. The reason I don't give a fuck is because you're lying, Mike. I don't give a fuck about liars, Mike. If you want to lie, Mike, you can keep lying, Mike. Now answer me the question: who started the lockdowns, Mike? Who was it? Wasn't Democrats.
It started during Trump's presidency.
It started during Trump. It started during Trump. You can keep trying. So now, apparently, Trump can't control shit when he's in office. But that made you go, I want to vote for him again. So the Democrats were able to control Trump the first time, and you said, I love the way the Democrats handed Trump his ass, so I'm going to vote for him again because this time maybe the Democrats won't be able to control Trump. That makes no fucking sense, Mike. Second of all, Mike, stop talking. Stop talking, Mike. Stop talking. Simple. Mouth shut. Keep it there.
No.
Mouth shut. Keep it.
You're a fucking
Mouth
idiot.
shut. Keep it. Mouth shut. Keep it. Thank you. Second
really
of all,
think that
Mike. Okay, now I'm going to have to mute you because you can't follow directions. Second of all, Trump had the entirety from March 2020 to January 4th, 2020 to undo lockdown restrictions. He didn't even undo lockdown restrictions in DC. You know why? Do you know why, Mike? Mikhail? I'll tell you why. Because he was an idiot, first and foremost, but because everybody else recognized, hey, lockdowns are kind of working in slowing the spread. Second, this dumb shit people keep saying, like you, that are going, well, they said all this contradictory information about masks. No, they didn't. They've been saying that we should have masks since April of 2020. At the very beginning of 2020, they said, don't wear masks. And the reason why is because we want to save masks for the people that need them. There was a shortage, and we need to save the mask for medical professionals, doctors, things like that. By April of 2020, they were saying you should mask up. We locked down in March of 2020. So it took them a month. So this whole they flip-flopped on masks is bullshit and is only said by somebody who's so fucking mind-numbingly dumb to the truth that they have blinders on. Now, Jimmy can say something before I unmute you.
Yeah, I mean, look, there were things they got wrong at first about masking. An N95 everybody on N95s would have been way better off than using cloth masks. Those were inadequate. However, they still reduced because, again, a single particle flying through the air, truly 1 micron, can't get you infected. It literally requires a certain viral load, and those travel via droplets. And if you reduce the droplets, if you're going to do the cloth mask thing, cleaning them regularly also helps. I mean, this guy, it's clearly just a conspiracy theorist, and it's 100%. I find them terribly uninteresting because in the name of not believing anything, in the name of, oh my God, they've been talking the whole time.
Literally,
he's been I
talking
remuted
this
him.
whole time.
He was talking the whole time, not even realizing he was muted. In the interest of conspiracy theorists like Mike, in the interest of not believing anything, will literally believe everything, except for what the science shows. Otherwise, you can sell him on fucking anything. Anything that isn't true, will believe the dumbest shit. Now you're unmuted, Mike.
Yeah, I heard you. I could literally refer to the science and it's simple physics. It's really, you guys are making it more complicated than it needs to be because you're too fucking
simple
stupid.
physics.
Really
it's simple physics.
Okay, present us
academic. It must be very embarrassing that we who are so stupid literally debunked some of the dumb shit you said earlier, like your dumb single micron claim, which is long debunked.
It's so simple, Mike. It's so simple.
Microns is bigger
it's
than
so simple,
microns.
Mike. Present us a piece of academic research that proves your point. Go ahead.
What? You want me to send you guys stuff?
What? I want you to back your claim. Yes, I want you to back up your claim. So present a piece of academic research that backs up your claims. Super easy.
Most of the stuff I get about COVID is from the CDC's website or the World Health Organization.
Great.
So
present me a piece of academic research. You're ignoring the question again, and the reason you're doing it is because you don't have it.
I'm on the phone.
Present me a piece. What is your phone, Mike? Is it a rotary phone? Is it a fucking phone from the 40s or 50s? Or does it have a web browser in it, Mike? Like every other phone on the planet.
Do you not?
Mike, so you expect me to needle in a haystack your claim?
Yeah, you're acting like
no. Here's the actual. I'm gonna mute you now, you fucking idiot. You fucking dumb fuck. Here's the actual piece here now. When you make a claim, you provide evidence for the claim. The burden of proof is not on me. You're trying to shift it because you don't fucking have it, stupid. I don't play this shit, dummy. I don't play this shit. So if you're going to make a fucking claim, back up your fucking claim or lick taint. Those are your two options. Your option 1, back up your claim. Option 2, lick taint. What are you going to do, Mike? Option 1 or 2? Now you're unmuted. Option 1 or 2, Mike?
I'll send you stuff after this. I'm not going to
Nope.
do that right now.
Then guess what? All the things you've said are untrue. Thank you. Why
No,
would I
they're-
operate?
they're-
Why would I operate under muted again? Why would I operate under truth if you can't back up the shit you're saying? Why would I operate under truth, Mike, if you can't back up the shit you're saying? Are you purposely dumb, or did you wake up today and were like, you know what? I think dumbness is just my brand of the day.
You guys are genuinely getting a lot of people hurt and killed. You are very dangerous.
Mike,
people.
you can keep saying this dumb ass shit. Nobody believes it, fucko.
I'm not fucking
No
around
one
anymore. I think
believes
you
it,
guys are getting a lot
stupid.
of people
No
hurt.
one
You got-
believes.
you
No one
tried to
believes it,
assassinate
stupid
fucking
fuck.
Trump.
No
You
one
keep
believes
calling
it.
people Nazis.
No
You think
one
you're
believes you,
importing a
you
bunch of
stupid
slaves?
idiot. No one believes you, Mike.
You left people in
No one
Afghanistan
believes
to
you.
fucking die.
Okay, Mike, you're a fucking moron. Hold on. You know what? No, let's talk Afghanistan real quick. Hold on, let's talk Afghanistan real quick. Who was the one that negotiated with the Taliban? Who was the one that bypassed the Afghanistan government to negotiate with the Taliban so we could have a pullout? Who was that? Wasn't Biden. It was Trump, you stupid fucking moron.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
do.
well-
You're what I'm muting you again. You're what I love to call a headline debater. Right? You're a headline debater. What you love to do is you love to look at headlines. You love to see them in the bold print, Biden disastrous in Afghanistan. And then what you do is you don't click. It's very clear you don't click. Because had you clicked, you could see, oh wow, Donald Trump negotiated the release of 2,000 Taliban prisoners. Oh, Donald Trump told the Taliban about the timeline of the pullout. Oh, Donald Trump forced Biden's hand at moving up the fucking pullout because Donald Trump negotiated a plan that would leave too little armed forces in Afghanistan that could be overrun easily. But instead, you want to be an idiot. And it's okay. It's okay that you want to be stupid, but why not be stupid somewhere else? Why you got to be stupid here, dumbass?
Pull out quickly. You know what I mean? You can't just pull out of a country quickly that you've been in for 20 years. That's not how the fuck it works. That's what exactly.
Biden didn't want
to. Wait, Mike. If you can't just pull out quickly, you've been there for 20 years. Why did Donald Trump set the date? Donald Trump chose when. You're saying when was the problem. So why did Donald Trump pick a date so soon that it would be impossible to navigate
from that sort of thing?
And he refused to do it slowly. Donald Trump set the date. And it was not slow. So why are you sitting here blaming Biden? I'll blame Biden for a lot of shit, not the shit he didn't do. I'm not a Biden supporter. You're literally saying the timing is the problem. Donald Trump set the timing. And that timing was only like, what, 7 months after he left office? He did nothing. He did no preliminary stages. He did 0 preliminary stages, which means he would have gotten in January for his second term, still wouldn't have started anything, and was still going to plan a full 100% pullout in only 7 months. Arguably, the way Biden did it was the best way, was the best possible.
We're pulling out, we're an occupying civilization or an empire, pulled out quickly, left, in this case.
Why did he negotiate with the Taliban, Mike? Why did he negotiate with the Taliban? Why did he negotiate the release of 2,000 Taliban prisoners if you're so...
be in the fucking Middle East. We shouldn't have done.
So wait, who took over Afghanistan when we left, Mike?
Who took over Afghanistan when we left?
Yep.
Just recently?
No, when we pulled out, stupid. That's why I said when we left. Who took over immediately?
ISIS. I mean, ISIS had a lot of control over that.
It was the Taliban, Mike. It was the Taliban. It was the Taliban, you fucking idiot. You moron. It was the Taliban. The Taliban took over Afghanistan when we left.
Yeah, Taliban, yeah. Yeah, whatever.
The group that Donald Trump negotiated with, where he did not negotiate with the Afghanistan government. He did not negotiate with the actual Afghanistan people. He negotiated with the Taliban. And then when we pulled out, the Taliban took over because they had 2,000 extra people to help them in a takeover. Because he released 2,000 of their fucking guys.
You're claiming that leaving pallets of cash and leaving them.
We didn't leave any cash. We didn't leave any cash. We didn't leave any
weapons
cash.
is the better alternative.
We did not leave pallets of cash.
By the
That's
way,
stupid
and
as
Mike,
shit to say.
Mike,
Yes,
also
we
No,
fucking
we
The
did.
we-
Are
and
you
Mike-
kidding me right now?
No, we
no,
didn't.
not only
How do
Mike,
you guys
not only
have
did we
so
not
much?
leave cash. Jesus fucking Christ, Mike. Once again, I have to mute you. It's funny because you guys never finished the story. The weapons and things that were left behind, the you're talking about helicopters and shit. That story was planted by the Biden administration that essentially all this stuff was going to still be there as a method of reducing the Taliban trying to attack because they would be excited to pick up that stuff. And then what did they find? A bunch of non-operable shit. The stuff that they got a hold of was the stuff that the Afghani government prior already had, and again is a direct result of the negotiations from Donald Trump and Donald Trump setting such a short timeline. All the problems you have with the withdrawal were directly Trump's fault.
Jimmy, I'm going to just real quick, just to read this real quick. There is no credible evidence that U.S. forces intentionally left pallets of U.S. cash in Afghanistan at the time of the military withdrawal in August 2021, in the sense of literally abandoning boxes of money as part of the pullout. Claims about piles of American money left behind come from misinterpretations, isolated political statements, or later cash aid mechanisms unrelated to the withdrawal itself. Mike, you proved to be stupid. Take your stupidity elsewhere. Enjoy your fucking time.
I was just going to say, Kara did pay for a drop, so...
Yeah, no, I saw it. Mike
We
can
had
suck my fucking cock for all I care. Fucking. First of all, avoided the whole Trump started the lockdowns thing. Avoided that as hard as he could, as hard as he possibly could.
Yeah, it is very funny. But by the way, like the stupid thing was it's like the first caller. The first caller kept wanting to have an argument as though we ever said fetuses weren't alive. And so he kept wanting to go back to that when it was literally like, if we give this to a full sentient adult, you still have autonomy against that situation. So we need not visit these. And instead of focusing on, guess what, guys? The lockdowns were a good idea. The lockdowns, because one of the things that people keep pretending is that what we know now, even the stuff Mike pretends we know now, even the stuff he lies about the virus, what we know now was not information we had then. We knew there was something highly infectious and it was deadly. And then people will talk about, oh, now the death rate this last year of people who got it was only whatever percentage, because the newer forms are less deadly. Because that's the other thing. Strain A and B were deadlier.
By the way, when you look up N95 masks on CDC, what you get is a report, an MMWR report, which found that people wearing respirators like N95s consistently indoors had significantly lower risk of testing positive for COVID-19 compared with those wearing surgical or cloth masks. Because everything this stupid idiot said was stupid and idiot.
But his whole thing was on the basis of a single cell of COVID is small enough to fall through an N95 mask, which is true, but not when it is suspended in liquid, which is the way it travels. If it's not suspended in liquid, it dies. So actually, an isolated, no droplet COVID molecule is exactly what you want. You're good. You're safe. Fucking idiot.
Also, I could fix Jimmy's thing. vMix gives you a tool where you can like delay the video. But it would take me trying to figure out how much Jimmy's delay is, and I don't feel like doing that right now. So that
only works too if the video is coming before the audio.
Your video is coming first. I noticed when I went back, I like looked at the stream. I could tell. I mean, if you want to clap for me, I can double check. But yeah, no, it looked like your video was coming first.
I can just keep my mouth behind the mic more, so it looks less obvious.
Bro, I hate people like Mike drive me fucking batty.
I love too that he will say stuff, we will directly debunk it. He'll even have to acknowledge parts of it and then go, it's amazing how little you guys know because you guys are just so dumb. And it's literally like, hey, there's a reason why no one's going to take this stream down. There's a reason why people will be able to watch this after. That's like that guy who called last week. It was when I was on with Jesse, and I literally after the call was done, I went on the show and I said, hey, I need to have this clip available. That individual is going to now go to Threads and say he won. So this is the video telling you, go watch yourself. And I am comfortable with everyone watching themselves, even people who are against me watching it and deciding who debated better. And it was like a prophecy, because literally immediately he was out there posting. And so I just been like, you keep going, declaring victory, telling people that you won and asking them to trust you that you won. And I'm telling people to go watch and decide themselves. I wonder why that is. I wonder why you need them to trust that you won and not watch. And I just say, go watch.
But I guarantee you, if he were to go be put under for surgery and he looked and all of his surgeons didn't have masks on, he would freak the fuck out.
Yeah.
He'd be like, what the fuck are you guys doing? And they're like, well, they're not effective, right? So why would we even put them on to begin with?
Who needs the microns? The microns, guy.
My name is Mike Ron. We got our next caller. Up next,
I might start calling people Michael Ronald as a.
Up next is Voss. Voss wants to talk about topic number 6, the abolition of police and prisons. Voss, if you can hear me, please provide me your age and pronouns.
Age 36, pronouns he, him, but I don't particularly care one way or the other.
Oh, that's progressive.
And can I ask if you'll provide me something as well? This is Jimmy.
What you need?
Yeah, if you'll just go to Cash App and provide me with, I don't know, like $400. It's at or $ Jimmy A Snow, and then we'll just get this.
Shoot,
underway.
if I had $400, I'd have been donated it already to The Line. I love watching The Line.
Oh, okay.
I appreciate it. And I appreciate the people who are super chatting. There's a lot of people, there have been a few people who have super chatted over on mine because they're like, I like when Jimmy and Jovan get paid together. Not that elitist stream over on Jovan's where only Jovan gets paid.
No, couldn't be. Couldn't let a black man get his coin. Anyway, Voss, so you disagree on topic number 6. Is that correct?
For the most part, yeah. My mom's side of the family was in law enforcement for a long time, so I kind of grew up around police. So I'm open to hearing an alternative opinion, but I feel like they provide I don't know if I'd call it a necessary, I don't think it's really, it shouldn't be necessary service keeping the streets safe, but like I don't really know of an alternative. As for closing the prisons, I don't think prisons, I don't like prisons at all as a concept. Like a place to detain people temporarily, maybe, but like anyway.
Hold on, Voss. Just pause real quick. Jimmy, someone in your chat said a COVID molecule can't fit through an N95 mask, but Mike's PP can. Which is so funny. Holy shit. Anyway, so Voss, let me explain the position for you really quickly. So when we talk about the abolition of police and prisons, what we're talking about is abolishing the carceral and retributive state that police and prisons operate under. Police and prisons currently, especially police, are simply tools of violence utilized by the state to protect private property interests. They're not there to actually protect private citizens. They're not there really to keep communities safe. They're simply tools of the state. So what we want to do is we want to replace this with a system of rehabilitative and restorative justice. So rehabilitative justice is going to be focused on rehabilitation through things like job training, education, empathy training, things that we know lower recidivism rates. So making sure that people who commit offenses don't recommit offenses. And then we want to work on restorative justice, which is focusing on fixing the things in society that lead to crime, which in our society, when we're talking about crime, we tend to be talking about low level, like middle class and lower crime, which are going to be poverty, like wealth inequality leads to those type of crimes.
Lack of education and resources.
Yeah, that can be, but that would just be poverty. That would just tie into poverty as well. But yes. So by fixing, because right now what we use police and prisons for, it doesn't lower the recidivism rate. We have one of the highest recidivism rates in the world. Anywhere between 75 to 80%, depending on how our economy is doing. The worse our economy is doing, the higher the recidivism rate. And then we have all of these people who commit and recommit. We have one of the highest prison populations per capita. We consistently go after poor people, but we never go after like the people that are actually doing the most damage crime wise, which is like the wealthy people. Like Walmart steals billions of dollars in wage theft every year. Doesn't nobody from Walmart see a second of jail time for it, right? So prisons should be retrofitted. We should instead have like rehabilitation centers and then long-term mental health facilities. And then police, we should just have a system of community safety. I always tell people, if you want to call that police, fine, but it's no way going to serve the same function or work towards the same goals. Instead, the goals of police are to get people help when they need help. It's to, if you catch someone stealing, it's not, I'm taking you to jail. It's, why are you stealing? What can we do to help you so you don't need to steal again? Things like that.
Vas, one
So
thing
you're
I
not
don't have anything to
necessarily-
add to the.
Oh, sorry.
I don't have anything to add to what Jovan said. I could repeat it, but white, but I don't know if that would help anybody except the racists. Vas, what the thing that you said at the beginning, I'd caution you against and tell you need to let that go. You've acknowledged that you have an emotional attachment to this because you have family who are police. And the thing that's going to happen to you is one day you're going to really go looking and go, I had a romanticized image of these people, and they actually probably did participate in systems that I would consider corrupt and immoral. I think about it with my own grandfather. My grandfather was my hero growing up. He was because he's almost a mythical figure in my family as this man who was at D-Day, paratroopered in. He was looting Hitler's stuff, but got his loot stolen, but kicking ass and taking names. And he's this awesome World War II guy. And then the other day, somebody posted on Threads like, so you're trying to tell me that the people who did all of that and are voting for Trump, the guys who fought the fascists, are fascists themselves? And I had to think about it for a second. And then it occurred to me, my grandfather came home from D-Day and bought a house in Levittown, Long Island, which, if you don't know, still technically in the code prohibits the sale of property to people of color. They don't enforce it anymore, but it's still in there. He literally bought. So yeah, the fascists did kind of kill the fascist. And so I just caution you against the confirmation bias that's going to come with going, well, I want to maintain this so I can maintain that this person was, for his day, probably was a good person, maybe, but we need to be not limiting our progress by the romanticized images we have of our ancestors.
So if I could just clarify, the last living relative I have that was in law enforcement was my grandfather, and he passed away shortly after I was born at a relatively old age after having just saved a family from a burning building, which is why I'm sort of attached to it. But at the same time, it's like the concept of police itself, the only reason I like Jovan's way of putting it to where it would be more of a community help thing as opposed to an enforcement of I don't really know how to phrase it, but I guess fascist would be a way of putting
it's
it
property
at this
protection. Like, you got to think about it. If the police catch me spray painting a building, I'm not hurting anyone physically, right? And if they go put the spray can down and come with us, and I start running, there's a likelihood a cop's going to shoot me because I ran away from spray painting a building. Cops aren't
likely if I do it.
Crazy. Cops aren't. No, you're not wrong. I'll get 3 warning shots in the back.
Telling a lie.
Jimmy will get Burger King on his way to the station. So it's the system though. Like, the system of policing is designed to shoot first and ask questions later. The system of policing is designed to harm the poor. It's designed to harm people of color. It's designed to harm queer people. It's designed to do this because there needs to be a constant flow of slave labor into our prison systems. There's a reason why the 13th Amendment literally says if you're a prisoner, you can legally be a slave. There's a reason why Texas pays their prisoners nothing, zip, zilch, nada, but still has a very large population of prison workers and will threaten their population of prison workers. I think the last study I read said that 60% of all work in prison was forced work. So it's forced under threat of loss of privileges or punishment like solitary. Alec, thank you for the raid, Alec. So when we look at police and prisons, I don't see any benefit here. They're not doing anything. They're not fixing the problem. The problem will only get fixed by focusing on the actual cause of the issues.
Fair enough. I did have an argument with some friends of mine, and I remember I think either one or both of you talked about it in one of your previous shows. Was the bombing of the fishermen or whatever. And I remember seeing one of yours, I forget which one of you guys was talking about it, about how there's no evidence to suggest that they were drug runners or whatever. And my friends are like, there's literally videos of them throwing drugs out of the boat. And I was wondering if you guys, because that it's tangentially related to this. So I just wanted to pick your brain on that one.
Illegal to fire upon someone in a shipwreck. It's in our legal codes of engaging in warfare, and we did that.
It's actually given as the example of the type of things you're not supposed to do, and a capsized ship was one. It's not that there's no evidence that there were no drug traffickers aboard. There is evidence that there were likely more, and that some individuals may have just been killed for being fishermen, but that we definitely further broke laws. And again, like we were talking earlier about, I don't remember, what example did you give, Jovan, of like Walmart is committing crimes, right? And they're not going to prison. Yeah. These people under the guise of fentanyl is coming into our country, think it's okay to kill people who are trafficking cocaine, which is, just so everybody knows, cocaine is not fentanyl and is not often trafficked together even. They are kept quite different. Fentanyl is a different kind of drug. You would not be fooled that your Coke was Coke if it had fentanyl in it. I know quite a bit about Coke and fentanyl. Just don't worry about why. I just know. Anyway, they're going after these people. Meanwhile, what's happening in the pharmaceutical countries? Drug trafficking is not a capital crime in this country. And when it comes to companies that we have found liable for pushing drugs irresponsibly and getting people addicted and hooked, the worst they've gotten are fines that amounted to a few days worth of profit, not being actually fucking murdered because they were on the same boat as somebody who was trafficking drugs. By the way, some of the individuals that were killed in at least one of those boat strikes were likely people who were being human trafficked. Imagine if that was your solution to human trafficking. Bomb the vehicles trafficking the humans. You're muted.
So I brought up the fact that, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say the really stupid defense of like, well, they could have been calling backup. Oh my God, they could have been calling backup.
Yeah.
Or they could have been calling for help. Yeah, they were stranded at sea now. They need help.
Right.
Wait.
They were trying to flip the boat back over was the thing that they did that apparently made them, made it okay to kill them. And it's like, well, yes, they were trying to flip the boat back over to not drown. Like, was their only recourse that wouldn't get them killed swimming? It's even not a lot, even people on the right, there are people on the right, even in Congress going, actually, this looks pretty bad.
But Trump's going to get away really quickly.
They were saying that we told them many times to turn around and they were still bombed. So,
well, we don't know. Trump hasn't released the video of the second. He's released the video of the first bombing. They haven't released the video of the second bombing yet. And when asked about it, this is what's crazy. When asked about it, Trump said, I'll release it. I promise I'll release it. Full transparency. He was asked about it 5 days later. Literally 5 days later. Reporters said, hey, you said you were going to release this. When are you going to do it? And he's like, I never said I was going to release that. They're going to escape accountability again because there is no accountability for this administration. They are in control. So what the fuck do they care if they do something illegal? Nobody's going to sue them. And even if they do, they're not going to, what's going to happen? The Supreme Court's going to say, you did bad, pay this little fine. It's not going to lead to like an impeachment. It's not going to lead to them being taken out of office. They're just going to keep getting away with shit like this. And nobody's going to care in 2 weeks' time when the next crazy thing happens. And then this one falls to the wayside.
But literally, you could prove to me that they were drug traffickers, and I would still say doesn't. This is that thing where they get you past that argument, where as though we've all implicitly agreed, if we prove 100% they were all trafficking drugs, kill them. Right? But we haven't. Drug trafficking is not a capital crime. The death penalty is not what we give drug dealers or drug traffickers. We don't do it in America. And not only do we not do it in America, Donald Trump just pardoned a drug trafficker. And I'm not even talking about a pharmaceutical industry one. I'm talking about a good old-fashioned drug trafficker.
Yeah, the ex-president of Honduras.
Right.
At this point, I feel like I'm just talking to a brick wall with my friends because I brought up some of the points you guys told me just now because I've been watching y'all. I listened to you guys. But they're just like, it's not illegal. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure it is. Really, I wish I could get my friends to call you guys just because, frankly, I think it would be hilarious to see you guys demolish them. But they refuse to call in. I've already tried.
Give me one of their first names, just their first name. You don't have to tell us anymore. Is that okay?
Can I? Yeah, I suppose I could.
Or a nickname they would recognize.
There's two of them. One of them, Coco, and the other one is Steven. At least I call him Coco. Hey, Coco
and Steven?
Actual name's Coco.
Sure. Hey, Coco, Steven, the reason why you won't call in is you know that you cannot handle your positions against actual facts. Because if you could, you would call in. You'd have thousands of people watching the left get corrected. You would be destroying the whole thing we do. You would absolutely disillusion the masses, but you won't because you know you can't. I'm calling you out. Those lines are going to stay. The lines dedicated for you, they're going to stay quiet. That phone's never going to go off because you are too cowardly to argue with somebody who can fact check you real time. I know you won't. There you go. You should play that for them, would you?
I'm actually going to consider that. I will say they are both also. So 2 quick things, and I'll let you get to other callers. One, they are both staunchly Christian.
It's unsurprising.
I know, right? It's crazy.
If only they were Christ-like.
Yeah. To address one of the comments I saw talking about why my grandpa had to have a lethal weapon on his hip. He fought crime in the days before stun guns were commonplace. So that's that. But anyway,
I don't think the point that the person was making, that probably wouldn't really change much of the point that they're making. In other words, I think a lot of people believe that most of the police force does not need to be armed in that way, because stun guns aren't great either, and they're not even non-lethal, as people like to suggest.
If they don't work. There's
a really good. You should watch the episode of John Oliver on tasers. They may even qualify as cruel and unusual punishment, and because they're considered non-lethal, they are now overused a lot too.
I'll agree with that, although I will say that doesn't stop me from enjoying some of the hilarious moments that have happened because of them. But I know it's to
tell you the truth, after I watched the John Oliver episode, I did start enjoying those less. Because you're talking like brain damage, and then the way police officers, after they've zapped you, made you ride the lightning, as they like to say, to then give you commands and zap you again when you're failing to fulfill them to their satisfaction, when your brain is actually fucked up, and then they can bring you in and potentially get a confession or bully you into confessing things you didn't because your brain is actually fucked up. I think if you watch the episode of John Oliver, you might actually find yourself enjoying seeing those videos less. Because I used to also find them rather funny, but I do now less.
That's fair. I will pull up. Did you say it's on YouTube?
Yeah.
I will watch that. Let's see. John
Oliver tasers.
Tasers. That way I can watch it after the stream.
Oh,
But
yeah.
I appreciate you guys informing me about this stuff and I don't know, listening to me gab.
That's what we do.
Yep, no problem, man. Thanks for calling in.
I appreciate you guys. I'm going to continue watching the stream. Y'all have a good night.
You too.
You too.
This is why I typically don't have the abolish police and prisons topic on the board, because almost everybody ends up agreeing.
Yeah, it's just like the defund the police thing, where it's like, I don't think this last caller was that bad, but the number of people will be like, oh, defund the police, so just total anarchy, everybody does whatever they want, and nobody, but like it's though they don't understand. It's like, no, it's that we're overfunding the police, and even in today's society, as the system is set up, we're asking police to do way too much, and we should be taking most of their money and putting it to systems that actually help it rehabilitate and service people, and not get people shot because an inanimate object had its feelings hurt.
By the way, guys, if you're watching and you're liking and you're like, I want to support the show, consider tipping. Cash App and Venmo are on the screen. The tips go directly to my call-in line to keep the call-in lines open. So if you're like, oh, I want to make sure that Jovan can still get calls, consider sending a tip. It also supports the show, supports me doing what I'm doing. Also, you can send a YouTube super chat. All super chats in my chat will get read at the end of stream. If you super chatted on Jimmy's chat, thank you as well. W to super chatters on both. Also, Twitch, shout out to the Veteran Nomads for 1 gifted sub. Shout out to Alec Gunter for the raid earlier. God, when did we had a talk? Alec, we responded to an abortion debate that I did 2 years ago, I think it was. Deja Dreamer, thank you for resubscribing for 3 months at tier 1. Ellie Blue Bubbles, thank you for resubscribing for 4 months at tier 1. Veteran Nomad, thank you for another gifted sub. Thank you guys for supporting the stream. We're going to get to the next caller.
Wait, real quick. Don't miss LineCon featuring Jovan Bradley, Matt Dillahunty, and Alyssa Loop tomorrow. Anybody on Patreon, even at the free tier, if you go to patreon.com/calltheline, you will be able to join. The tickets to it are through Patreon, patreon.com/calltheline. It's tomorrow at 3 p.m. Central, presentations and a Q&A with those three. And Alyssa is, I think her presentation is called She Comes First. And I believe it's about lady orgasms, but it's gonna be the whole thing's gonna be great. Y'all gotta catch the.
Am I crazy? I saw on Instagram.
A number of people
didn't just recently get engaged. Pretty sure I saw that on Instagram.
Yeah, she did.
Hey, Yay, thank you for the $50 Cash App. Jen, thank you for the $5 Cash App. Said appreciate the education you provide. Thank you. Helps me when presenting my opinions. You're welcome. And Marissa, thank you for the $50 Cash App. Thank you for helping me be able to better defend my views. No problem. Thank you guys so much for the tips. The next call looks to be very interesting. Coming up to the show next, we have Trash Man. Now, Trash Man does not think trans men and women are men and women because of genetics. So we'll see if Trash Man actually knows enough about genetics to have this conversation. Trash Man, if you can hear me, please provide me your age and pronouns.
I'm 62 years old and I'm a male.
Okay, that answered
Genetic
one of the
male.
That answered one of the questions I asked you. Can you answer?
I go by,
Okay.
sir,
You go by what?
sir.
You go by sir. So your pronoun is just sir. That's the only pronouns you use.
I don't have
Sir
a
is an
pronoun, to be
honorific.
honest with you.
Sir is not a pronoun.
Just trash man.
Sir is not a pronoun. It's an
Just trash
honorific.
man.
You don't have pronouns. You're like one of the singular people in the English language who doesn't.
Wait,
get
Trash
pronouns?
Man,
Correct.
who doesn't have pronouns?
I'm me.
Wait,
Me is a pronoun.
who doesn't? So was I.
I don't.
That was the joke I was making.
I is a pronoun.
Who doesn't? I'm sorry. I'm trying to hear your sentence, and I'm ignoring every time you use
I'm
a
not
pronoun.
here to
So
nit- I'm
the
not
last
here to
sentence you
nitpick.
just used was the word
I was going to ask you
"don't."
some questions. But if you're going
Well,
to
then
nitpick,
don't nitpick.
that's
Just
fine.
give your pronouns. Hey, trash man, let's do it this way. When our chat talks about you, would you rather they say he is very bad at this, she is very bad at this, or they are very bad at this? Trash man, you were asked a question.
I'm here.
You gonna answer the question?
If you want to use a pronoun, me,
No, me wouldn't make any
whatever
sense.
you
How
want to
if I'm
call
trying to
it.
refer
Whatever
to
you want to call it.
if I'm
bitch.
trying to all right, cool. Whatever we want to call it. So everybody please refer to Trashman in the chat as a she, as we have been elected the chooser of Trashman's pronouns. So Trashman will be a she for this conversation.
Very progressive of you,
Trashman, are you a
Trashman.
Trashman?
I like the way
Are you a
like to
trash
throw
man
out
by
insults
trade?
Immediately, don't
It's not
you?
an- not
No,
an insult, it's
excuse me,
pronouns.
it wasn't an insult. You said we
What
could
if I
pick your
don't want to
pronoun.
use what if I don't want to use a pronoun?
Then
hold on,
why
wait,
did
wait,
you
wait.
tell
Hold on,
me?
Hold on. Here's what we'll do. Trash man. If you want to not use pronouns, okay, I'm totally on board with this. For the rest of the call, please do not use a pronoun whatsoever. No pronouns. Deal?
You're fucking pathetic, dude.
You might be considered a pronoun.
Your is because you is
So
a pronoun.
fucking what? Why are you mincing words?
So what do you mean you?
I don't have to use a fucking pronoun to identify myself.
Oh, okay. But that's because you don't tend to use pronouns to identify yourself. We're asking for your third-party pronouns for other people to be able to identify you.
I don't have a third-party pronoun that you can use.
You don't have
I'm a male.
party. You don't have third-person pronouns. So just
you said
confirming.
we could
If
choose.
somebody says,
if
"Hold
you
on,
wanna
trash
use
man,
that,
trash
I'm a
man,
him.
trash man."
I'm
Okay,
a
there
he,
you go.
him.
Why was that? Why did that take 3.5 minutes to get to, trash man?
Finally.
So
Why
simple.
are you having to try to stir up shit?
Stir up shit. I just want you to if you went into a store, trash man, and someone said, "Hey, there's
If a
trash
man
man."
is a man, born a
Listen
man,
to me,
and
please
it
listen to me.
changes by
Trash man,
taking
trash man,
medication,
trash
he's
man,
still a
trash
male.
man. Trash man, listen to me, please. If you walked into a store and you heard somebody in the store go, "Oh, look, there's trash man. He's here." You would accept this, right? You would be like, "Yeah, I'm here."
Yeah, I
Right?
use that.
And if
I would accept that.
Okay, great. Now let's say you walk into that same store and someone goes, "There's trash man. She's here." You would not accept that, correct?
No, I would not.
Then you, trash man, have preferred pronouns, just like literally every other person on the planet. You have pronouns that you prefer to be called. So when we ask you,
But a genetic
what are your
male cannot
okay.
call himself she.
Okay, well, a genetic.
Yes,
we
they
can call
can.
ourselves
That is
anything. That's
incorrect
not language.
You know what?
pronouns. We can call ourselves.
Trash man,
whatever the fuck
watch.
we want.
I'll do it. I'm going to do it for the rest of this call. Hey guys,
Okay,
in
you
the chat,
call it-
would you
you
go ahead
call
and
it
refer
black,
to
I'll call
me
it
as
white.
a she for the next 2 minutes?
Okay, the sky is blue.
Okay, here, trash man. You said that you said specifically that trans men and women are not men and women because of
Wow,
genetics.
take two
What is
of you,
the
huh?
trash man? What is the
Takes two of you to jump on one person.
you called into a show that had two
I
hosts?
like it.
Trash man, you called into a show that had two people sitting here talking. You did that. No one forced you. We didn't hold a gun up to your head. So don't complain about it now. You called into the show. The show had two hosts.
I thought I was talking to one person.
So how? There's two people sitting here.
Yeah, I thought that he was taking your phone calls for you.
Are you
That's very progressive of you.
What? What are you talking
Trash
about?
man, are you a trash man for a living? Do you pick up garbage for a living?
No, I'm retired.
Got it.
I
So
was
just
a heavy
refers to your
diesel
opinions.
mechanic for 35 years.
Okay,
I
great.
just retired.
I just want to confirm something, trash man. You said trans men and women are not men and women because of genetics. What is the woman gene? What gene is that specifically?
I can't remember which one that is, but XY is male, I believe.
So those would be chromosomes. So you're saying because of chromosomes, a trans woman can never be a real woman in your opinion because they don't possess woman
Correct.
chromosomes. And what would
Correct.
the woman chromosomes be?
I don't remember. I think it's YY, XX, YY. I don't remember.
Okay, great. So totally fine. It's XX. I'm fine letting you know what it actually is. Now, just confirming, do all women possess XX chromosomes?
Most.
Most.
Unless,
So some
unless
people,
they're pregnant and they can carry whatever. They can carry partial genes for male
okay.
during
So just
pregnancy.
hold on. I just okay. What? Okay. Their chromosomes would not change though, just because the fetus might have male chromosomes. Right? Like just because the fetus has XY chromosomes doesn't mean that their karyotyping would now all of a sudden change. You know,
No,
I think you're
I
getting
don't
too
mean it
advanced with a guy who
completely changes.
stares
What
at an
I'm
orange
saying
juice
is
bottle if it says concentrate.
it has been known to show up that way.
that the person who's pregnant's chromosomes change during pregnancy.
You know, I probably made a mistake calling in, but because I'm not exactly 100% sure on what it was I read a couple of months ago.
Uh-huh. Okay. What I just want to try to break down here is, do you believe that in order to be a woman, someone has to have XX chromosomes? Like that's something that they have to have in order to be considered a woman.
Yes.
Okay. So
Genetically female.
great. Wonderful. So up on my little handy dandy notebook here, I have a medical case study. This would be the pregnancy and delivery in a patient who has pure 46XY karyotyping, a summary of actual knowledge about XY women. So this person got pregnant, they delivered a baby, they have a pure 46 karyotype, so a pure 46XY karyotype. They don't have XX chromosomes, they have XY chromosomes. Is this person a man or a woman?
Well, if they were pregnant,
Mm-hmm. They were pregnant.
what is it that normally gets pregnant? Women, XX?
Typically, females get pregnant, yes.
Okay.
So that's why I'm asking you. This person, they have
So-
XY chromosomes completely, the pure 46XY karyotyping. So their sex chromosomes are
and
XY.
they were born with female body parts?
They did have a uterus, yes. They were able to get pregnant, and they were able to deliver a successful birth. Is this person
What
a man
case
or a
study
woman?
is that?
A pregnancy and delivery in a patient with pure 46XY karyotype.
Okay. When was that study done?
Well, this isn't it's not like a study, it's a case study. So it's like, this is a medical case that the doctors wrote about. This specific
And
instance
how
was
many
in
of those have there
2013.
been?
I'm not asking about frequency. I'm asking, what is this person, a man or a woman?
Genetically, it would have to be male.
So males can give birth.
No.
So then
No.
what are they?
Unless there's a genetic disorder or malfunction somewhere, or
Well,
they
don't
had
have
a
they don't have a
hyperactive
malfunction because they had a
genome,
successful birth.
or it was incorrect.
So is
There
this
could be any
person-
number of things. There could
so
be
this
any number
person-
of things that could.
This
that
person
could,
who has XY chromosomes, what are
Yeah.
they? Are they a man or a woman?
That's a male.
So males can give birth.
No, I couldn't give birth.
They gave birth, so then they're not a male. So what are they?
Hermaphrodite.
So one, that's considered a slur now. Even medical wise, we don't use it to describe humans. They would not be a. They would. I'm just going to ask you not to use the word again.
So what do they call? What do they call
Intersex.
They say
people
they-
that are
they say
born with both?
Well, this person wasn't born with both,
Intersex.
but they would be somebody who has an intersex condition.
Oh my God.
So this person, again, are they a man or a woman? They have XY chromosomes, but they gave birth. What are they?
They're male.
So males can give birth.
How many other case studies have there been that have had
Doesn't
an
it,
XY
it doesn't
chromosome?
matter.
Born
If
female.
Literally,
If
An XY
even one
chromosome,
exists,
female body.
Hold on. If even one exists, that means that males
No.
can give birth.
hey, Trash Man, when did you get your chromosomes tested?
Me?
Yeah.
Back in 1972.
No, you did not.
Yes.
How much would that have, how much did it cost?
Karyotyping back then? Probably a lot.
I'm not sure. I have a blood
ballpark it.
disorder
No,
that needed to
that's
be checked. I didn't pay
they
for
needed
it.
to check if you were XX or XY.
I'm trying to figure that out. I'm not sure, but I had to have I think it was a chromosome check when I was a child because of
Your
a
XX and
genetic
your
disorder.
XY.
Pardon me?
Your XX and your XY were checked in 1972.
I think, I don't know. I was sent to a hospital to be checked for a disorder.
So you think, you don't know, and so therefore you also don't know what the results were, correct?
I don't. My parents would have known.
So you actually don't know whether you're a man or a woman on the basis of yours. It is either you are XY or XX, because you can't actually even predict a person's secondary sex characteristics on that alone. You don't even know if you're a man or a woman.
I know I'm a man.
How?
I haven't given birth to any children.
So have many women. So have many cisgender people that you consider women. In fact, many people with XX chromosomes with all sexual characteristics are unable to give birth. They can have a ton of conditions that aren't even chromosomal conditions that cause them not to, or they can have their uterus removed. So wait, is a woman only a person who has given birth?
No, they have a vagina, breasts,
You can have
chromosome.
all of those. Everything, every physical sexual characteristics a person with XX chromosomes has, an XY chromosome person can have. It comes from the X side. Trashman, can you explain to me why you have nipples?
Because in the womb, your body doesn't decide what you are until a certain stage.
That's not a very good description of it. It's kind of more that everybody begins their, excuse me, hang on. Everybody begins their development as genetically female. They're following the X chromosome blueprint, if you will. And then at some point for people, the SRY gene expresses, and that's where like dicks and stuff pop up. So you literally have a nipple because males are all half female too. Actually, more than half. The Y chromosome is not as significant as the X one.
I want to explain something really quickly to you, Trashman, just really quick. In biology, we do not distinguish whether you're a male or female by what your chromosomes are. That alone does not determine whether you're male or female in biology. In order to determine a thing's sex, we use what's called cluster categorization or familial categorization. We look at a list of traits and whether or not you share that amount of traits with a large group of people. So for females or sex in general, there are 5 specific traits we look at. We look at your chromosomes as one. Then we look at internal and external genitalia, hormone production, and we look at oh God, what is the 5th? I always forget it. Gonads. Gonads would be the 5th. So you say, hey, genetically, you can never change your sex. But this would be untrue because a large portion of these things can be changed. Your hormone production can change. Your internal and external genitalia can change. Your gonads can change. That's 3 of the 5 things that can change. 4 of the 5 things that can be changed. So scientifically, your sex can absolutely change.
I'm just trying to pull up my 23andMe account.
Okay. 23andMe does not check your XXXY chromosomes, just so you know. Hey,
Actually,
in fact, it pretty much is only checking it only is really checking stuff, I believe, if I'm remembering right, on your mother's side. You will get some of your father's side stuff, but as far as like your characteristics, your mitochondrial DNA is going to be a lot of what is tested, which you get more from your mother.
I'm
Anyway,
just gonna ignore what I said now. Okay.
Trash Man, hey, Trash Man, what do you do for a hobby? What's your like favorite hobby?
Mechanics. And
Okay, and I'm
I
a
build guns
woodworker.
in my spare time.
I've built a couple guns too. I'm a woodworker. Which one of us do you think is manlier between you and I based on our hobbies?
Neither one.
You think those are equally manly?
Yeah.
All right. What other hobbies do you have? I like to look at sunsets. Is that manly or is that feminine?
Neither one. It's something that's
That's pretty
relaxing
gay,
to the mind
honestly.
and body.
Looking at sunsets is gay. I'm sorry if you're just now finding out that you're kind of gay. Trash Man, just based on how we look, do you know what I look like, Trash Man? Which one of us looks manlier? You or me?
Why is look a comparison like that?
You'll find out. Just answer the question. Which one of us looks manlier? Are you worried I have a vagina?
I don't care.
I wish that was true, but you're here because you care so much. So which one of the two of us looks manlier?
Between you and me,
Yeah.
probably me.
Who do you think's more manly,
guess
you
that-
or Pete Buttigieg?
I'd have to say me.
Great. So, Trash Man, I doubt you're right on any account, but you've now addressed a couple of things. One, you have addressed that sex actually isn't as simple as just chromosomes, because you've been faced with examples where you've had to acknowledge that a male gave birth to a child, a person that you would consider a male genetically, and then you've been educated by Jovan. And then with the exercise you and I just did, you acknowledge that gender is a spectrum.
I've been educated.
Wait, Trash Man, if you and I are both
Are you
genetic
saying
males, how
are you
can one
saying
of us?
you educated me?
Oh, I don't.
Like
you might
schooled
be
me?
right to make this correction just
Like
because we
maybe I
gave you
learned
better
something
information.
new?
All right, here we go, Trash Man. I'm going to mute you real quick since you can't help yourself. I'll go ahead and take your word for it that even though you were given better information, you weren't listening. Hey, if male and man are completely synonymous and you and I are both XY chromosome, probably, I have no idea if I am, but I was born with a wiener and that's what the doctor told me. How can a person be manlier than another person? Go ahead, I'm going to unmute you. How can, excuse me, what?
You didn't answer my question.
I didn't hear your question because you're muted and I was in the middle of asking you a question.
So it's okay. Huh?
I was in the middle of asking you a question, so why would I answer your question first just because you interrupted
take
me?
a breath and
How is it
listen then.
possible? How is it possible, Trash Man, if you and I are
I
both
asked you a
genetic
question. You
males
still didn't answer.
and I was asking first. So you're going to answer mine
you
first.
didn't give me a chance to say anything.
Hey, Trash
So you
Man.
think you schooled me, huh? You think
Trash
you
Man.
educated me? Did you?
Trash Man, I actually
Did you?
Excuse
Did you
me, Trash Man.
school me?
What an absolutely
All right,
weird
so-
thing to strike a nerve about.
By the way, Trash Man, I've muted you again because I actually did answer that question moments ago, but you were probably doing what you were doing just now, which was asking a question and then just repeating it and getting louder instead of letting anybody respond. I actually did answer that question and say, I will take your word for it that I didn't school you, because just because we gave you better information doesn't mean you took it on. I will take your word for it that no one can force you to learn and that you won't learn if you don't want to learn. So now I'm going to ask you my question again. Trash Man, how is it possible if you and I are both genetic males that one of us could be manlier than the other one? We're waiting, Trash Man. And Trash Man hung up because Trash Man would have had to have admitted because gender is a social construct.
I don't know how, but I accidentally turned the music on right at that moment, and that like low key worked so well. That was actually a really great, really great.
Unfortunately, I didn't get to hear that.
With the music cutting in there. That was great. Anyway, sucks to be trash man, I guess.
You think you schooled me? You didn't answer my question. I actually had. That was the funnier part. I did.
Fucking nerve. Dude was like, dude was mad that we educated him.
You can't make me learn. I refuse. Buddy, we already knew. We'd hear that twang. We'd hear that I am the caricature of a Southern Gen X, hasn't let go of that my boomer parents were fucking horrible and I'm taking it out on the world behind me because if they wouldn't vote for my well-being and would ruin the economy for me, I'm going to do it even more to the people behind me.
God damn.
I know how
anyway,
it is.
Bug, thank you so much for the Venmo. Said thank you for all you do. You're welcome, Bug. And Bree, thank you for our Bug was the Cash App. Bree, thank you for the Venmo. Said incredible work. Thank you, Bree. We are now $25 away from our goal over on Twitch. What do we want to do? If we hit our goal on Twitch, do we A, play Dispatch, B, play a horror game? One of those two things can happen at the end of stream after we say goodbye to Jimmy. So Twitch, you guys, if we hit our goal,
Dispatch
you guys
the
decide.
band?
No, Dispatch the video
There was
game.
a decorated general with a heart of gold that likened him to all the stories he told. A past battles won and lost and legends of old. Hey, we owe Dispatch a lot, just so you know, as you make that face. Dispatch is why we know that music piracy is based.
You wouldn't steal a car. Or what was it? You wouldn't download a car. You're goddamn right I would. The fuck you talking about? You wouldn't download a pizza.
Dude, someone
Hell
literally-
yeah, I'd download a goddamn pizza. Speaking of which, I'm hungry. I should order.
Someone literally said Dispatch like the band? Man, I don't know if they're still together,
really
though.
showing your age there, Jim.
I stick alone. Get me a guitar. I'll do the whole thing. I stick loneliness, your lips and the 2 coins of your eyes into my pocket.
I got real. We have a call we're gonna get to in a second, but I got real hyped when I realized that my new place is within delivery range of a Waffle House. Ooh, and I tell you what, boy, I loves me a Waffle House.
Shortly after COVID, I canceled my DoorDash. Not because of Waffle House, but I think it was probably it was a breakfast place in the area. And I put my reason for canceling. I got fat and poor and it's your fault. Because it is true. DoorDash is not a thing. It's this thing that intercepts as soon as you start to get like a little bit of financial success. If you'd like to keep none of it, order a lot of DoorDash.
Jovan, really quick, are you and Jimmy pro or con cryptocurrency? I'm anti-cryptocurrency for sure.
Yeah, I would say
blockchain.
it's clearly all a con. But I'm more anti-capital. It's like one of those things where it's like, is it much worse than everything else? I'm conflicted on. I used to accept crypto donations back when I was more liberal. It's kind of one of those things where I'm like, is it categorically so much worse in the no ethical consumption under capitalism category? Right now, it seems to be the case. So I have no I don't think. I might have some like whatever Ripple dropped when you had XRP back in the day. Might have some of that in a wallet somewhere. But as far as I know, I have no crypto assets because it's clearly become a giant scam. Or maybe it always was. But it is big time scam.
What's the best game you've played this year, Jovan? Dispatch. Yes or no? Cryptocurrency is 21st century Confederate money. That's a good description. There's just too much rug pull. Like crypto is too easy for the people at the top to fuck you over. Like it's just too. The South Park crypto episode was funny as shit though. Let's get to this final. It looks like our final call of the evening. Unless somebody else calls in during. Up next to the show, we have Olivia. Olivia thinks we should keep police because without it, it would just be mob justice. Olivia, if you can hear me, please provide me your age and pronouns.
I am 51 and she and her.
Thank you, Olivia. Now, Olivia, you think we should keep police in prisons. Is that correct?
Well, prisons, meh. Police, yes. Like an official people to uphold a sense of law and order rather than we just do it ourselves based on whim and emotion. Like when I'm in the bathroom, I'd rather have somebody in authority tell me which bathroom I'm allowed to use rather than the whole group decide.
Sure. So the issue with this would be the police aren't really a tool of protection, right? They don't really keep people from committing crimes. We can look at this when we look at the what happens when there's an increase in police presence. We actually see an increase in crime in those areas. We don't see a decrease in crime. And typically we see that when the amount of police it takes to stop a crime is an exorbitant amount. I think for murder, it's like you need 5 police present in an area to prevent one murder. So like it's a
Well, I would agree with you. I would
yes.
say the police serve a function of being a symbol of what the right thing to do is. So if you can I park here? You see a police and you go, hey, can I ask you this question? Can I park here? That's their function. Things like that.
Why would
And
we
then if
need
you break
police
them,
to
they're not
serve
going to
that
stop you
function?
from parking there. Like they're not going to stop, for parking there. But if you do park there, they can give you a ticket and
So
then you'll be punished.
Olivia, my question would be, why would we need police to serve that function? Couldn't that function be done with a sign?
Well, for parking, perhaps, but life is dynamic and it happens through time. So maybe there are many circumstances where that might be a function we need, and the police would serve that.
I'm a little confused.
And
on
also
what you
just
mean
like
by
getting
what you mean by
cats
that.
out of trees or whatever else specific duty they might perform.
Couldn't getting cats out of trees be performed by firefighters? I mean, they have ladders.
That is true. I agree with you. Firefighters serve much of the same function as police, but like traffic, a car crash, police can direct that traffic around and make getting to work easier. And if it were on purpose, they collect evidence for the victim to win in court.
Sure. So 2 things. One, the major function of police is not to do any of this, right? These tend to be more side duties. The major function of police is to protect property. That's their primary function, is to protect property, to protect your property,
Rich people's property.
Well,
yeah.
Not as much
public
our
property, right? So I think that the commons, and we have a tragedy of the commons.
No, mostly
and the
rich
police
people.
are there to try to stop
Mostly
that as
rich
much as
people's
possible.
property.
If my stuff gets stolen, like me personally, and a cop comes and they fill out a paperwork, they do all this, what they're going to tell me is, the likelihood of you getting any of this thing back is low. By the way, guys, write down all of the serial numbers on any of your devices, because that's actually going to increase your likelihood.
They do say that, but the point of them being there is so
Olivia,
you
just
can
hold on,
get
Olivia, just
reimbursed
really
by
quickly.
insurance.
Okay, hold on. Just really quickly. We don't need police to do that. We can have an insurance adjuster do that. But if a rich person, if somebody who's super wealthy, like Bill Gates, let's say someone breaks into Bill Gates' house and steals something valuable of Bill Gates. You think the police aren't going to do everything they can in their power? You think that's not going to be a priority case for them?
It doesn't even have to be that valuable. I can give you a real life example.
It doesn't.
Within a month of me moving from Denver, somebody stole something I had delivered from Amazon. My camera caught their face, their whole body, and my other camera caught their license plate. Gave all of that to the police, and the police were. And by the way, nowadays I probably wouldn't have done that. I would have just been like, Amazon's replacing it. I don't care. But I was in a little more liberal phase. But anyway, gave all that to the police, and they told me what Jovan just said. You're probably never getting this back, and the guy's probably never going to get caught. The apartment complex that I lived near, somebody spray painted it. Nobody, but it was like a fancy rich person's apartment complex. No camera caught them, and yet somehow they apprehended the guy who spray painted like a tiny section of wall within 10 hours. So when it is for rich people, they go to work. The detectives start detecting. And when it's for you, you can do all of their job they need in identifying the person. And they're just like, whatever. Sorry. We're sorry.
Sorry.
Well, I mean, that's that is possibly true in your instance, but there are many instances where that it's just not true, and we shouldn't generalize in that way. I
What
think
what
police
Jimmy is
have
talking about is
been
the norm, though,
both
Olivia.
very mean to me in my life, but also other times very kind to me. And I don't want to generalize them because
Olivia,
I have both of
can I
those
ask you a
sides
personal
as
question?
anecdotes.
Can I ask you a personal question?
I'm sorry? Yeah,
Are you white?
yes.
Then it makes sense that police have been kind to you sometimes, right?
Well, yes, but I'm also transgender and have been a prostitute. And some are
Sure.
very mean. They were very mean to me. I won't
Something
deny that
something
at
to note
all.
though, something to note though
Some
is
helped
your
me
whiteness is going to
and
come through
protected me and
over
were
all of that.
kind. I'm
Just so
sorry?
just something to note. The white aspect is going to come through we're talking about police.
Yeah,
The whiteness is going to come through hardcore over most of that, right?
I guess,
Yeah,
I mean, that's possibly true, but not all police who were both either nice or kind were also white. But I will
Olivia,
take account what you've said, and I won't argue it
you're just
because
doing the
it's true.
hashtag, you're hashtag not all menning this thing. Not all police. Great, but enough that it is
Not all police
systemic
are
and
bad.
that the system encourages, and the system encourages them to do though. The systems are inherently corrupt, and the people that you are describing are exceptions to that system. And
Like-
Well,
by the way,
you know,
probably
we got
aren't
into that
exceptions to
specific,
that
but
system.
in the general, I think that they provide some stability because I wouldn't want the mob deciding my fate. I really wouldn't. I like that
The
there
mob
is
currently,
something to
the
point
mob,
to
the mob,
that has at
Olivia,
least
the
a
mob
small
currently
chance
decides your
of
fate.
being kind.
Olivia, the mob literally currently decides your fate.
But
Well,
like
that's
but
scary.
we're not but what about all of the people who the police are deciding whether they live or die? The people who are like the innocent people who are being gunned down because because a cop thought an acorn hitting the top of his car was a bullet. Like what about people like Tamir Rice who had, what was it, 5 seconds from a cop pulling up to him being dead? Like
That is absolutely true.
but this
But
is the
it is
norm for
not as
people that
bad
live
as
in
this
no,
is
I'm sorry,
neighborhoods going
Olivia.
against neighborhoods.
Olivia, this is the norm for people who live in heavily policed areas. This is just their norm. This is their everyday. And cops don't lower the rate of violence. They don't lower the rate of crimes being committed. They don't change anything. So what is their purpose? They're not stopping crime. They don't prevent crime. They don't solve crime.
The only way you find out to know if you're right, though, is to try without cops. And that is what I'm afraid of. Like, you're saying that's a fact. But in America, we don't know it's a fact until we tried without police. And where have we done that? Like Oklahoma?
Except for we can also look back through history when police had far fewer responsibilities and see how that translated to the way they served the public. And in certain ways they were worse, and in certain ways they are better. So you learn and you get better. And by the way, the police forces in a lot of European and socialist leaning countries aren't doing near the amount of shit, and calling both what we have and what they have police is almost a joke.
But we can even look at direct examples of this. The Black Panther Party, when it was at its height in California, operated with little to no police presence in their neighborhoods. Police were afraid to go into the neighborhoods. They avoided the neighborhoods because of the Black Panthers. The Black Panthers were able to create free breakfast programs for children, free medical clinics, free ambulance services. They were the conflict mediators of those groups, and things in those areas started getting better. That's why the United States government had the head of the Black Panthers, because this was, a time when they didn't want these things.
I cannot speak to that circumstance. I wouldn't dare call it not true, but nor can I substantiate that it is.
I mean, I can give you.
Okay, well, Olivia, if we're going to present to you examples and issues, and you're just going to say like, yeah, but I'm calling in with just the vibe
utopia by keeping up the police is not something.
So I'm going to have to mute you too, because while we're probably mostly on the same side, when other callers just decide the rest of my sentence doesn't matter, I mute them. And the rest of my sentence does matter. You going with your vibes based on your personal experience is the problem. So we are giving you information. You are welcome to fact check it after, but to sort of brush that off as, well, I can't substantiate it. Therefore what? we should just pretend we don't know that information and go, so your vibe is still legitimate. By the way, another thing that I'd be happy for you to go substantiate is the fact that a home with a police officer is 2 to 4 times more likely to have domestic violence issues present. And that's just the ones that are reported. And when this has been studied, one of the big problems is wherever these things happen, the police also cover for the police. So it's not just that you get beat by your husband. When you then try to leave your husband, the police do not protect you. And you can go online and read about all of the court cases and all the stories of the women who were basically left alone in a city where their police officer X is essentially stalking them, and the police just would simply do nothing. Or even more fucked up cases where, to retaliate, the husband would go and arrest their ex and commit them to some kind of psychiatric hold using their police authority and no intervention. So all of these wonderful people that exist, it's hard. The reason the whole all cops are bastards movements exist is even the best ones still seem to participate in this turning a blind eye when it's all about the thin blue line and protecting their comrades. And unfortunately, systemically, they may be unable to do anything else because they would lose their ability to do what you're calling the good work they do otherwise, because the police force would retaliate against them, which is why systemically we need to destroy that system and replace it with something that, as Jovan said earlier, you might still call police, but would not prioritize the quality of life of non-sentient individuals. It would prioritize the well-being of actual humans. Now I will unmute you.
I agree with you. Thank you for muting me. And I listened to everything you said. That sounds very cogent. I just agree with that, right? I just agree.
I want to give you, if you're willing, Olivia, I'd like to give you some reading material. 2 books specifically. Read Black Against Empire. This is by Joshua Bloom and Waldo E. Martin Jr. This is like one of the, in my opinion, one of the best and most comprehensive histories of the Black Panther Party in California, specifically the movement of people like Huey Newton, Bobby Seale, Fred Hampton, and then also read The End of Policing by Alex S. Vitale, which is a book on just police abolition and what it looks like and what it would look like in communities.
Wonderful. You know, you convinced me. Like I really do not dislike police, but you convinced me with that last speech. I'm not gonna lie. Like I changed my mind. All right. And so
okay,
I have nothing more to say. But I will say, you could have got that last guy when he kept saying, "Did you school me?" He gave like 5 examples, and one was, "Did you provide me with new information?" I kept saying, "Yes, just say yes." He would have accepted that, and you could have gotten the same answer you just got from me. To be obstinate and contrarian, here at the end, still in the debate channel, you could have won that, and you could have gotten to your side. That's all I have to say.
I look forward to when you create your channel that does it better than us. I love hearing that people know how to do it. No. I love Olivia. It gives me such hope. If you know how to do it better than us, clearly this is a model that works. Go do it better.
Yes. Oh my gosh. There was this show. I wanted to argue about trans because I'm trans. With this weird ass show called Closer to Truth on YouTube, they have this philosopher of biology, Nathan Lenton. He defended us better than I've ever heard in my life, better than I've ever heard of myself. He didn't touch on, he just did it in a weird way. On the last, I just don't know how to describe it, but it was the most pro-trans I've seen in like 10 years. And it was just bizarre how he did it. I love this guy, Nathan Lentz, just to promo some pro-trans person. Yay!
Okay.
Cool.
Love you all. Thank you. You can hang up anytime.
All right. Well, have a good rest of your night.
You too.
At that point, I'd be so tempted to just return to queue and be like, no, you hang up.
That is it for our calls today. For those
I
asking,
don't want to be too cynical, but didn't I just say what you said with a white voice?
a little bit. For those asking, the two books that I had mentioned, Black Against Empire and The End of Policing. Those are the two books that I mentioned. Black Against Empire is really good if you want a comprehensive history on the Black Panthers and what they were doing. Also do Revolutionary Suicide, like read the actual works of like Huey P. Newton, Fred Hampton. Like if you haven't read Fred Hampton, don't call yourself pro-black. That's all I'm going to say. Anyway,
That's sad.
I mean,
I don't know if
it's
I've read.
true.
Hang on, what has he written?
Fred Hampton. He's written he wrote quite a few things when he was alive.
What I'm saying is I don't know if I've read Fred Hampton, but I'd have to look at what his collective works are. Oh, Rainbow Coalition. Okay. Luckily, the bar is set so low. As long as you were a liberal in college, you're probably fine. You're probably
right.
You're probably.
Before we leave, let's do our super chats because I like to say thank you to the people that support the show. So this is only for my super chatters. I don't have the ability to send.
And I like
Jimmy's
to give them
super chats to
condolences. I can read some off, but you like to thank your supporters. I like to console mine.
Literally. Ayla Ursus, thank you so much for the super chat. Said, are you going to join Patreon? Me? I had a Patreon once. It's still there. People still subscribe to it, even though the big message on it is I do not use this anymore. There's just old content that's still on there.
He does get profit share from a little place called patreon.com/calltheline.
Oh, I do?
Yeah, we pay everybody so the point system. Anything that we make money off of, you guys make money off of.
Oh, sick. From Rocap said, I'm a trans woman who is a socialist. Now all triggered folks call in. No, wait, deadass. From Katie Iron Fist said, Jovan, thank you for bringing up the sentient argument with Marcus. I get so frustrated people care about the fetus more than the actual pregnant person. You know what's an argument I used to love using, but now people piss me off? I would be like, it's like when we're talking about killing non-sentient creatures, I'm like, it's like if you cut your grass, right? You're not like, who gives a fuck? And then I get all people going, grass is sentient. Grass is actually conscious. It screams when you cut it. No, shut up. No, it doesn't. Be quiet. It's not the same.
I think the same person has created an account twice. This is the first time anybody's called me a pedophile, and now it's happened twice. So I gotta think it's the same person. So if we haven't banned them, I'd love to know what the fuck you're even talking about. Of all the things I've been accused of.
Was it yesterday? When was it? It was with you. When somebody in my chat was like, Jovan committed a vehicular manslaughter against a child in 2008.
Yeah. I wonder if it's just the easy thing to like throw out there because no one will fact check it, and also to cover for the fact that like you guys literally elected a pedophile.
It's so crazy. Shout out to Peeryform42 said, your side hurt all the people, Mike, by refusing science. Go fuck yourself. We love it. They also said, Mike is making me angry. His point of view is why the lockdown lasted longer and why I couldn't see my mom before she passed. People like him are why people passed. I would say boot him. And we did. Well, technically, I guess he booted himself because no, that was the other guy. No, we booted Mike. Never mind. Flux said, Voss, it's cool that your family members saved someone from a burning building and everything, but why do they need a lethal weapon on the hip in order to do that? To shoot the fire, guys. It's to shoot the fire. The flames are resisting. And then Misha said, trash man crashing out because someone insinuated that he learned something new is actually so funny.
That is pretty good.
It really was. I didn't understand why that was the thing that clicked him so much. He's like, oh, you taught me something? Like, yeah, dude, we did.
My bad. Didn't mean to. By the way, we clearly did, because he unless he was just reading, Nazi Twitter, there were times where he was clearly like silent because he was processing shit.
Well, and then just ignoring it. Like I went through a whole thing with him, and he came back with like, yeah, I'm looking at something here. Like, oh, okay. So you're not listening to the conversation that we're having.
We're not wasting our time on this asshole at all. You know your timer's still going up top?
Oh, I didn't stop recording. It's fine. I'm not going to post that call anyway. Yeah. We didn't hit our live goal on Twitch, so I guess I'm not playing Dispatch today.
Guys,
sorry,
quick,
guys.
hit that live goal. I'm gonna read mine while I read my soup, so you guys do that. Our soups. Jovan gets paid on these two. Liz Chris says, because we are called subs for a reason, made me laugh because true. Y'all a bunch of subbies. Kara says, every time with the abortion debate, I feel like I want to barf less than 10 minutes in and the caller is still going. That caller did the thing that I think has worked on others and clearly didn't work on me, and it threw him off. Acting so indignant when accused of the reason why you feel this way is you don't have as high a stake. And if we just change the stakes and you are involved in it, suddenly you would get it more. That is so unfair to say. That is so unfair to say. And it's literally like, guy, I've been doing this a while. I know the threads of where your beliefs go. Wingnut said, so I guess we should all also prosecute men who don't stay with the baby. So I guess we should also prosecute men who don't stay with the baby. What?
Because he wants to prosecute women that get abortions.
Oh, gotcha. I thought we were talking about a completely different thing, and I thought this person was on the other side. I was like, you paid $5 to disagree? We're talking about the fetus, not a delivered thing. Okay, Perry Farm says, I came into this conversation with a very nuanced point of view. Marcus 2026. Did you? It is funny when a person has to tell you. It's like when a person has to keep telling you their IQ, and you're like, yeah, keep telling me how nuanced you are. Misha says, Marcus twisting himself into, which, by the way, if you're going to brag about being nuanced, don't then do the I have to keep returning you to my script tactic. You know what I mean? Like, if you have so much nuance, why have I corrected you that we don't need to talk about when a child is alive, because that is irrelevant to the abortion argument, and explain why? And why did you return us there 3-4 times? If anything, it describes you as having no nuance, because you can only engage with this like weird, dumb argument that the right makes so much, where it's like, the one they like is like, if we found life on Mars, everybody would lose their mind. But finding life in a woman's womb, or if we found this on Mars, it would be considered a life, but this in a woman's womb isn't. It's like, nope, nobody's saying that it's not alive. That's not the argument. You're just dumb. Kara also said, pre-dropping a $20 drop in case this nut job somehow makes it to 20 minutes. And that ended up paying dividends, Kara. Brent says, for Jovan spitting serious. Perry Form says, Jimmy, she be so sensitive about grammar. That was the person who had no pronouns. Or me, because for 2 minutes I was a she. Since I was told men cannot be she's, I decided to be for 2 minutes.
JD got us to our goal, by the way. We are going to play Dispatch.
Nice. Jimmy, I literally just fell for you because you respond to my comment by singing 2 coins back. You might be hotter than Jesse soon. Well, we've just announced we are playing Dispatch, so I guess, do you suppose that I would come running? Do you suppose I'd come at all? I like that word because that song has used the word a lot.
It would be fun.
I suppose I would.
To have Jimmy sitting here during Dispatch as someone who hasn't played the game, to see him just into episode 5. Are we on episode 6? 2 episodes away from the finale to see what Jimmy thinks of Dispatch.
What? Oh, no, I don't want to watch the end because I'm intending to, because I love Invincible and I love The Boys, so I am intending to hit Dispatch.
Dispatch
so
is
I don't want to
phenomenal. We're not at the end yet. There's 8 episodes. I think we're on episode 6.
Have you watched Invincible?
Yeah, great show.
Have you read the graphic novel?
God, no.
Or the compendium?
It's so long.
They're good. Yeah, I
it's
guess.
So long.
I had a good time. I watched the first season and then I went and got, I think there's 5 compendiums, and I literally pulled them up in a VR headset. So like the pages were like the size of they were huge. And so I just sat, and I think for 2 days I just went bloop, bloop. It's really good in VR, comic books.
Well, chat, say goodbye to Jimmy. Say thank you to Jimmy for coming on. I won't be there for our Sunday show, so that's half of why I told him like, well, let's go live today.
Yeah.
But we'll after this, I think that's the last Sunday one that I have to miss. So I will see you guys here on Twitch. Jimmy's gonna bow out, and we're just gonna deuces out on YouTube. Steak on Twitch. We're gonna play some Dispatch.
I can end just me on YouTube if you wanted to keep yours going. If it's
I'm gonna end my